Welcome to the Busy Being Born podcast with your hosts Kamande and Kigondu.
Hapo sawa. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Busy Being Born podcast. Karibuni sana mazee.
Karibuni sana to yet another kick-ass episode of
the Busy Being Born podcast. Unajua tumeenjoy hiyo size na abu ati sianza episode na unajua ni ni kujichocha ikianza mazee.
First of all,
yes.
What's up? Award-winning superstar. Congratulations, man.
Asante sana bana. Otherwise huku nitashinda nimeangalia chini nikiwa
no, it's okay. So how many awards were you nominated for at the annual Kenya Theatre Awards?
We're really talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, we need to give you
heads up.
Nowadays we give you your flowers.
Mtani
Cliche, but I think it's worth it.
mtani nani Monica tani email mazeni kama episode. No, tulikuwa myself and the company were nominated for I think a dozen awards.
Nice.
And we got 2 out of the dozen, which is I got 2, the company got 3, but tulifurahia. We can't get everything we want,
that is
but
true.
need recognition among your peers, and it's a good timestamp. I wonder how I'll feel about all these things years later, but for now tunashukuru, giving thanks.
The best playwright.
Bro, today's guest is a phenomenal playwright.
That is true. But you've also worked with him and he knows how much of an OG you are, I'm sure.
Na try kumove your spotlight, maze.
Shout out also to our guest on episode, I can't remember, Bilal Mwaura, who was the best
actor in a leading role.
This is for Gahi Kadeda.
Yes. Man. But bro, asante sana.
Congratulations.
Super thankful, bana. Asanteni sana. Karibuni sana to the Busy Being Born podcast. That is how we swiftly move on. We're excited for this particular one.
Absolutely. And this episode is brought to you by Funky Science. Funky Science is an education technology company striving to ensure that kinesthetic learning is incorporated into cognitive learning at a young age through creative experimentation. Funky Science delivers creative science experiments via online classes, camps, clubs, and events with the aim of encouraging students to love and practice science. The direct beneficiaries of Funky Science are school-going children of ages between 5 and 13. The experiments are interactive and encourage children to ask all sorts of questions about science and also to participate in a wide variety of experiments. Through these experiments, they teach children the value of science in their daily lives, that science is not only manageable but very easy and fun. That's the fun in Funky Science. The experiments are tailored towards providing children with the necessary information and interest that they will require to pursue science-based careers later in their lives. The experiments are simple and use common material that everyone can identify with and is easily available in the household. Putting science in the kitchen. That's why I think something around that. So you can go to your kitchen and pick up a few things here and there and do a nice science experiment with the kids. That's not only fun, but they also learn. So Funky Science working towards inspiring the next generation of scientists. You can find them at funkyscience.co.ke, or you can send them an email, ask@funkyscience.co.ke. That's ask@funkyscience.co.ke. You can also check them at Funky Science on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Funky Science, again, working towards inspiring the next generation of scientists.
That's what's up. I feel kuna character us guys didn't grow up with, but it's popular out there. Sikumbuki alikuwa inaitwaje, but it's a weird name like Dr. Science or I don't know Doctor Who. And every time you hear Funky Science, that's pretty dope because kids need a platform where they get excited about things such as science.
No, I think this year especially they're going to do a lot of content. And we're here for it. Professor DJ, who's also top 40 under 40.
We need her here.
We need her here.
We need her here.
One of these days.
That's what's up.
We have a guest.
We have a guest.
We have a
guest.
Are they brilliant?
Bro, absolutely brilliant.
Do they represent the motherland?
Back to back every other project. And even the way they think and look at life, I do definitely think they represent the motherland.
And last but not least, are they busy being born?
Definitely busy being born, maze.
Tupe,
Should I jump in?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, where you are, ka unatuwatch on YouTube ama unatusikiza ukikimbia, whatever you're doing, it's mama tu, skiza. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you a phenomenal filmmaker with a background in a lot of documentary making. I didn't know this, like documentary filmmaking, but saizi niko, okay, this is going to be a pretty dope episode. But besides that, they're also a theater maker, they're a writer. In our circles, nimeenda off script. In our circles, they're the person we look up to when it comes to marketing and going around that. I think he's really gifted with that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are giving you a Kalasha Award nominee. Amekuwa nominated his works at least for Sanaa Theatre Awards before. His work pia has won Macha. Ilikuwa inaitwaje? Macha Fest. Ilikuwa Macha Fest. Hadi namwangalia. Niko, that's the one. Yeah. That was a really big short film. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, an award-winning filmmaker and theater maker. We give you the one and the only John Jumbi, aka JJ. Yes.
Karibu sana.
Karibu, man. Salama sana. Salama sana, maze. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Good to have you with us. Itakuwaje maze?
Itakuwa fiti. Niko sawa kabisa. Hapo niko fiti.
Hapo uko tu sawa. Abu wako seti? We're good to go?
Very good.
Good to have you maze.
Asante.
Hamja meet na Kamande before?
No.
Yeah?
Getting to meet him today.
Yeah. Just a couple of, hata see hours. Yeah, less than an hour.
An hour.
What's the first thing that came to mind after a little about research here, JJ, and then bumping into him?
It's like, how do you make the transition from an engineer into being this dope film and theater maker?
Yeah.
Right.
Tuanze hapo.
I think that's the first
step.
How it all began, maze.
Okay.
Aye.
Why do we do engineering? Because we do well in math.
Oh, yeah?
That's very interesting. So we don't do engineering because we want to solve problems.
Okay, well,
there's that.
But nakuanga hapa chini kabisa.
Nakuanga hapa chini. So for me, I think that was it was like the automatic university choice. Yeah, so I did well in math. I think I did well in physics as well. So those two hard sciences. Yeah. So and I thought that I wanted to be an engineer. When you're 18 years old, I'm not sure whether you know what you want to do in life, but that's what I thought I wanted to do. So I did.
Nah, that's interesting, maze. Mimi, by the way, apart from me kuona nilikuwa, wait, what? I never would have put those two together. Aya, tuanze tu hapo. We pick from there. Okay. Let's start going back here.
Good.
So we now see JJ, the prolific filmmaker, the prolific theater maker, and we celebrate that. But sasa, mtu akisoma a bit about you, ako, oh yeah, there's so much in here. Like more than the filmmaking and the art side. Let's start from school. Were you thriving in math and the arts? Ama ilikuwa, you were one of those sharp kids wa kila kitu. Then tukiangalia what you're thriving at, tuirudishe nyuma kidogo tuseme, aya, chuo tulianzia wapi, by the time unamaliza high school. Tuende hiyo journey yote.
Okay, so where do I start?
The thriving. What came easiest to you?
I was, and I know like many people, I was in a school that was focused more on sciences. Arts were not really a big thing. Okay?
Which school was this?
This was Chebisas Secondary School. People say Chebi what? Because they don't know the name. Chebisas Secondary School.
This is Rift Valley.
This is,
Nakumbuka
bonde la ufa pale.
Music festivals tulikuwa tunaona mabasi. Mlikuwa mnakuja ama ni kutumana?
Hata sisi hatukuwa I am telling you, our school, the closest we got to arts is we hosted National Drama Festival, I think the year 2000, I think when I was in, that time. That is we even, hata sieti tulikuwa tuna perform. Ni kuhost too, because we had built a very nice hall. So it was the biggest hall, North Rift. So in Bidi. That's the closest
Yeah.
we came to us.
So basi tukiziona zilikuwa zinaleta watu wengine.
Hizo basi labda zinaleta watu wengine.
Yeah,
Ama zinakuja sports.
Zinakuja sports.
Ama zimekombolewa na today schools hapo around.
Exactly, man. Because I do remember, mimi nilienda Nakuru High. So hizi mashule zote mtu alikuwa anaziona. So umesema, yeah, I remember this bus.
We never, not once when I was in high school did we do anything close to drama.
Yeah.
Not even once.
This feels like an Abu Sense episode.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. Very good. I'm in good company. Though.
You are in good company.
Abu, I'm in good company.
Uko tu sawa.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So I got interested in arts after Form 4. Okay, that's when at least I was able to put together some to join a group that was doing drama, right, in my local church. Najua venye sasa you have those Christmas shows you put together, so would come together. Was it too young at that time? Of course, we were just finishing our teenage years. Tukaingia hapo, so we started doing shows for our parents. So we'd invite them. Hizi hata si shows za kulipia. Hizi ni you just do free shows. People come, and LD is such a small town. Okay, so by the time you filled our hall was because we were hosting it in like my primary school where I went to school. Okay, so that's where we were doing them. By the time you fill 200-300 people kwa hall, manze, hiyo ni show kubwa. Show kubwa sana, talk of the town. So that's where I'd say I was where the seed was planted for this work. So all through my primary years, my high school years, never.
Even a choral verse.
I think when I was in primary I was more interested in playing football. Na chobo. Hiyo ndio kazi tulikuwa tunafanya. Kuna kitu ingine. Then when I went to high school, because the high school was kind of out of town, so I pole into my high school. Haikuwa imechanuka sana. Ni ile high school ya village lakini najaribu kukua kitao.
Yeah.
Right? We used to say that Moi Girls Eldoret was our sister school. They used to deny. That is how bad it was. Hao walikuwa nakataa. Mademu wa Moiji walituruka, yani imagine. Yeah, but I think they thought sisi manze we are too ocha for them. We are too ocha for them.
That if the word was maobo.
Yeah.
Maze oboz.
Yeah. So believe it or not, I got my first taste of the arts, of creative, of the stage immediately after high school.
Yeah. How was that feeling? Is it something you can remember? How was that?
It's something I can't remember because let me tell you how it happened. There was a show, okay? And a friend of mine who was supposed to be acting, all right, in a certain role, fell sick. So he needed to step out of the role. So nile director kwa wewe, can you come and replace? Yes. Kaingia stage, all right? I think I had like one line or two lines, that whole like 20 or 30 minute play. But one line that was delivered with yani excellence, yote, kila kitu, showstopper. And I think for me, it was even surprising to me that, I performed. And I performed and people saw the performance and the way for any performer, the whatever, that appreciation that comes back is a crowning moment, all right, for whatever it is, even if it was a single line. So that feedback that came back, I think took me to another place for okay, kumbe kuna kitu hapa hivi. At that point the closest I'd done any artistic work was graphic design, because I did a lot of graphic design. When you wanakumbuka vitu kama Corel Draw na nini, so I was actually the one making posters for those things. So by the time I was getting on stage, that was my first time ever for a show, for a script, for a play, for anything that came close to performing arts.
And do you remember thinking that this is something I can do?
I remember thinking this is something that has made me feel whole or feel at home, okay? Because at that point I still knew minaenda kufanya engineering. So and the way for that let me say that generation, because there's another generation after us. Because for that time, what by the time you're 18, 19, the what you've been selected for in university kind of defines who you are. Okay, so hata unaweza pata mtu already anaanza bwana engineer you're 18 and 19 because for them that's what it is, right? So the arts at that point, it was just a feeling, I guess. It was just a moment of this felt good, this was good, but to say that it was something that I had seen myself do at that age, not at all. Not even close. Yeah.
And when you look back now, are there moments you're like, you looked at something on TV and went, was there any curiosity growing up around how that is created? Ama you just grew up without utter feeling like the artistic life was a thing people pursue?
All right. So now these are things I've realized in hindsight. Okay. After doing a lot of, the way you realize, you're like, oh, that was what that meant. So when in my primary school, primary age, I used to indulge in a lot of novel reading and comic book reading. Okay. I would do, remember Hardy Boys?
Yeah.
I would do Hardy Boys back to back. I would have the the way they had numbers. Okay, so I'd make sure I'd have a list.
You would skip none.
I'd know, okay, nimesoma hii. Yeah. I would go crazy with reading stories. I loved comic books. Okay, Kina Tintin, Asterix, and all those things. I used to go. There used to be libraries. Used to go borrow, and I would immerse myself in that kind of storytelling. And to your question, now when I look back, I realized I embraced myself in reading stories, and not just for the consumption of it. I think I studied storytelling from that age because I used to. I remember now. There's a way I used to understand how, like for instance, Hardy Boys used to be. I knew the story starts here, it goes here, it ends up here. They solve the crime like this, and they go back home. Like all the books had like a system, like a format, like a structure. Okay, and I picked that up back then. So I used to enjoy reading them because I used to know something is gonna happen here. Page something, this is gonna happen. All right. So I figured out storytelling structure even before I understood what it was. Okay. Same thing to comic books. When you read those comic books like in those Asterix, you'll just notice there's a formula they have. There's a way they take their story from here to here to here to here to here.
Yeah.
And I picked on that. I didn't even know that this was, I don't know, the storytelling bag being it just came up.
Seeds were being planted.
Yeah. The dots always connect.
The dots, exactly. Hindsight is the best side.
Hindsight is 2020.
Yeah.
There you go. Kuna story you just said you felt at home.
Yeah.
Was there any other thing?
Yeah.
Growing up that ilikuwa, and it could be anything. It could be hata ingekuwa swimo ama Eldoret ingekuwa kwa track ukikimbia. I don't know.
Hey, man,
I don't know.
Do you see what ukimbia, si ndio?
You don't? Okay.
Actually I do.
There you go. There you go. But is there another place that you're feeling your home iliwahi kuwa? Not si lazima ikue, it wasn't something you're indulging in. Inaweza kuwa it's a place that you felt by the time you discovered art, oh, this is familiar.
Yeah.
Ama was that feeling of discovering art in that way so foreign, it had to be home?
I think the thing, and this is probably my dad who did this, kitambo, of course, tulikuwa, the way we access movies was going to a video library shop, okay? So, of course, the system used to go, you borrow a VHS tape, you pay, it was 30 bob, I think, to borrow one. You go home, watch it, you return it. That was the system. Wachana na Netflix, hey, of course, we are in a different space. So, for some reason, I think my dad just loved the whole taking us for movies, or rather we used to ask for the movie thing, okay? So we'd go, would get 3 or 4 movies, weekendi, tumekaa, tunawatch movies na my bros, okay? We used to watch movies mpaka for me and my brothers, we would watch a movie and recite it. You know, the way muna watch like something like Lion King. Like we would go word for word. Even kind of role play amongst ourselves the film as it goes on. So tunaiwatch tukiperform kwa hao. Okay? So until today, by the way, we always have tuko na WhatsApp group yenye kazi yetu tu ni kunini tu malines manini especially now when we remember mathrowback za hizo days. Now these are things that I look back and I'm like, you know what, these things hii kanini kalianza kitambo. And of all my brothers, we are three, one had to take one for the movie team because another one is a doctor, mwingine ni ako IT. So mimi ndio nimebaki, lazima nishikilie squad. So that's how those are the things I think when I look back I realize ikitu, by the way, si atili nini kuna mahali ilitoka and all the pieces, you know, fell into place as life moved on. This is now back in the 90s.
Look at that, bana. Hey, ilikuwa ni mbegu tu zinapandwa.
Ilikuwa ni mbegu.
Okay,
so shout out to my dad. It's your fault.
The power we have. So your play happens at this period between high school and uni. At this point unajua you're going to do engineering. What engineering?
I did electronic and computer engineering.
So you move from E period. That's the time when you'd spend like 1.5 years out.
Yes, that's the period. That's the period.
So you go into uni. What are the highlights of your uni life?
Okay.
Do you still carry? So you had this experience.
Yes.
Did you still? Is it still vivid? Hata ukiwa pale na T-square yako. Are you still?
Umesema T-square. Umenipeleka far.
Ukiwa T-square pale, and then the ground thing. What was it?
For putting in.
What was that?
I can't even remember.
Is this memory still vivid? What's happening?
So my uni life is the birthplace, so to speak, of my creative journey. Hapo ndio everything changed. Okay?
I can't wait to hear this story.
Yes.
Because from how I knew JJ, nilikuwa, who's that guy? Oh, this guy was big in uni. So wasi watu alimjulia huko. So I know you're a uni legend, man.
I was somewhat of a uni legend, I must admit, because that's where it all happened. So post 1.5 year, that year we used to, you know, our parents call it a waste of a year.
We can be bougie about and say gap year.
The gap year. Yeah. But ilikuwa ya kushindwa nini naendelea na life. So that gap year, of course, just that ability of being able to immerse myself in the arts, we were able to do a couple of Christmas shows, some holiday themed work. Okay, so that, you know, kind of started the engines. So by the time nafika Campo, I think I am primed for any kind of creative work. Now, what do you have in campus? Human resource. Campo ikona, yani watu wako ready to work for free. That's basically what campus is. Okay? So I get to Campo, nimeingia engineering. Of course, I get into my class. I realize I'm from the most unknown high school. Tunajiintroduce first day of class. Pale ni Starehe, pale ni Strathmore, pale sijui ni Precious Blood, sijui nini. Inafika JJ, unasema Chebisa. What? So first day of Campo, I already knew siko na skodi ya nini yangu. Right?
Tuambie umekuja Nairobi, Campo gani?
I was in JKUAT. I was in JKUAT, Juja Boys, as they used to call it then.
Juja Boys.
Yes.
Juja Maker.
Juja, yes. So hapo ndio nilikuwa. At this time, so that's kind of my class composition. All right, guys are coming from big national schools and all that. Our school was a district school. I don't know if they still have that system now, but it was a district school. So classmates good, learning is good. I'm pretty much like class hainisumbui. Like I'll go to class, I'll do the whatevers, I'll do the cuts. So first year was was a bit first year. I mean, what do you do? See, ni maisha. You don't know anything. You get into the campus program as it is. Then I joined a group called NIRET. Okay, so the group in Campo is basically a group of young guys. So we have like a fellow, okay, once every week. But so it's a community, it's a fellowship of guys, okay. Pia wase wengi walikuwa wanatoka Nairobi for that thing, okay. So again, all right, I'm from, mtu wa kutoka mbali kidogo, but it's fine. Hii maisha ni kufanya nini? Maisha ni kujichocha.
Right? Lazima.
So in Campo, I get in and I meet these guys, and they do have a drama team, okay. And who is leading this drama team? Freddy Omondi Budabos. Okay.
Yeah.
Mnajua huyo mse.
Yeah, Budabos. Now exactly. This is the Budabos guy.
This is
He's
the
Budabos. The original Budabos.
So at that point ni Freddy bro wa mdomo bagi.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, by the way, wanafanana?
Yes. Yeah, tumbo moja.
I never knew that.
Yes.
It's a fun fact.
Exactly. So because at that time mdomo bagi also had his he was a big deal with Kina Churchill.
Yeah.
So can
we put a timeline into this?
So this is the year. This is so I finished high school 2001. This is 2003.
Okay, 2003.
This is 2003.
Yeah, at this time Mudomo Bagi is
big.
Yeah.
Hadi nimeplay kwa kichwa Mudomo Bagi.
Exactly. So Freddy is his bro. Okay?
Yeah.
And Freddy is the one holding fort pale kwa drama group.
Yeah.
Freddy ameandika show poa. Ameandika show ya adabu, man, show ya Campo, some kind of Sarafina type show, very comrade power, haki yetu kind of thing. Mimi nimewekwa wapi? Ndani. Right? So I can't even remember whether I auditioned or what, but I remember I was cast for that role. Niko wa? This is what we came to campus to do. Not engineering, but this. Kumbuka bado nafaa kwenda Daro, which is happening.
Yeah.
So we do, I think we do my first show now when I was in campus as a first year. I'm given, I think, a background actor role. Okay. So I'm just meant to mini heckler. Kelele haki yetu nini. Again, standout performance, if I do say so myself. I think I was a standard performance. Sichochi. Yeah. All right. So that happened. So the realization and the self-confidence of just being on stage happens. And you know what Campo is? Campo is this place where energies are high. You do something, you're already getting people noticing and saying all sorts of things. So we do a show. It's fantastic. Right? Now, so at that point I'm like, mimi niko ndani ya hii kitu ya drama fully. I'm inside this thing. So we used to stage shows, I think every semester, if I'm not wrong, because 2 semesters a year. So we'd come in, a semester was what, 14 weeks. So the first 6 weeks, by the way, tulikuwa tunaingia tunapiga tu rehearsals na show. So script imeandikwa during the holiday. Tukifungua shule hivi tuko job. We were organized. Tukifungua shule hivi tuko job. Why? Because the first half of the semester it's a bit light. You've not done, you're not starting cuts. Amjaanza kufanya those kinds of things. Unaweza multitask.
Yeah.
Okay. Plus now people have a lot of time. It's Juja, we are far. So weekends people are in school for long.
Yeah.
So that's the structure of the time. So we're able to do a lot. Okay. So we stage shows. For the school, guys are happy. We're like, hey, nyinyi wase ni wanoma bana, nyinyi wase ni wanoma. Mtu akiambiwa hivyo, kijana mdogo akiambiwa hivyo, inaingia hivi.
Anachangamka. Keep going.
Okay. Mtu akiambiwa hivyo nini? Inaingia kwa?
Yes, kwa
chocha. So start believing it. You start the more people, and that's the thing about the arts. It's very feedback driven. Okay. So the moment, that's why when you go see an artist, tell them what you think about their work, because that's one of the biggest drivers for them to continue doing what they're doing. Hapo nimetetea squad, ndio?
Yeah, umetetea squad.
So now, so Freddy goes on to now normally, of course, now when people become seniors in Campo, they leave things for
Unaanza
the younger
commenter the
guys
next year.
and commenter the next. Unajua Campo inakuanga na system ina work tu. So they become fourth years. So they're senior, the OGs. Because I think Freddie was like 2 years ahead of me. Yeah. So by the time he's hitting his fourth, me I'm in second. Okay. So what is that? We need to hand this team to younger people. Nani yako hapo hivyo? Please teacher. So I write my first script now. This is the one that I'd call like my first ever like professional script, I'd say, even if I wasn't paid and whatever. But it was like the first big play I wrote. Okay, wrote it, and we took a team of what? As I said, Campo is free labor, so maybe we're about like 60 or 70. Kapeleka watu KNT kuperform. Vijana wa campus. Tukacharge a whole 200 shillings for a ticket. 2004.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember the play was called Love Unconditional.
Love
Unconditional.
Unconditional. Oh, unconditional. Okay.
That play had music. That play was a full musical. It had like a witch doctor inside. Ilikuwa too all out.
Ilikuwa unconditional.
Yeah, ilikuwa unconditional. I remember it was a love story, I think, between a father, a military dad who has gone away and his daughters are there left. I'm like, damn. We used to write in Campo, right? And of course now you have this whole big team who can write for you songs, who can write for you, who can do for you choreography.
Yeah.
You have guys who can, collect tickets at the gate. This is campus.
Yeah. You have a team.
Uko na team. Uko na squad.
Yeah.
I think we went back home with, I think, a profit of, a whole 17,000 shillings, I remember. Our treasurer, Bwana David Kagiri, had 17,000 bob.
In profits.
Kwa bahasha. Tulikuwa tunashinda tutafanya nini na tulikuwa tunasema sijui tutafanya nini na hii pesa because pali tuko we are a success.
Si maisha mabaya.
We are a success. Steve Jobs nani we are making it. So that play, I think it really made us happy. Right? The team, even just as artists, okay, the rehearsals were intense. One of the things I think I'm even remembered for in Campo is doing full night rehearsals. We used to do overnight. Zinazitanga kesha. Piga rehearsal ya kesha. Everybody used to brace themselves for that rehearsal because it was like the defining moment of our show. Because we would push ourselves all the way. Okay, so that we are ready to give guys a good show. So it was a stamina thing. We would put in effort, would put in. So I think it was just the discipline of being able to push ourselves as far as we needed to go. At that point. So we did the show. Fantastic.
Profits.
Ukipiga profit, what do? You reinvest the money back next year, next time, Sisi. How? All right. Wrote a play called Bride Price. Okay.
Wacha tusimamia kwa Bride Price.
Yes.
First thing. Tukirudi kwa Buddha Boss. Tukirudi to that first generation. Do you remember the genre that was popular with you guys? Ama ilikuwa anything and everything goes?
I think we used to write a lot to do with Buddha Boss. His writing was a lot to do with social injustices.
Okay.
Like I remember.
So clearly the Sarafina types.
Yes, like the Sarafina type. I remember he wrote a play about anti-abortion. But he was doing some deep themes. Even for Campo level. Because I remember there's a show we did. There was a character, a lady, an abortion happening on stage. And I remember playing the role of like the abusive husband, I think, who wants the baby out. Those were the kinds of things we were doing in Campo.
2003.
Life
has not changed much.
I know. But you can imagine the sensitivities now. It's not as... By the time you stage something like that now, you really have to think of how you're going to do something like that. Okay? Back then, I don't know. We just did it.
You went for it. Yeah.
So that was his style of writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in the writing, before you got to write yours,
Yes.
ulikuwa una build your muscle, like kusaidia hapa na pale, ama was this
Right.
like the first one that uliketi ukaenda?
Yeah.
I haven't been here before, but
Even,
let's go.
even to add on to that, what's the process
Yeah.
of you going from an actor
Right.
to start
Yes.
writing? Like how inaendaje?
Exactly. So I think it was a little bit of both. I think having seen what Freddie had done and Freddie had written, I think, and because I had written a bit, remember, after Form 4, I think it just made me feel scale up your storytelling, scale up your writing. Now, the fact that the reins were handed over, that was also a crucial depend. So somebody had to write.
Yeah.
I remember it wasn't so much a transition rather than a deep dive. It was a deep dive moment, which I think was good because, again, we are campus students, so we might have some bit of organization, but we are not really, we don't really understand. I mean, hand over the baton, that's not very systemic. That is more, by the time yetu imeisha, nyi ndio next.
Magays, tuchangamke.
Tuchangamke.
Yeah.
Even ndio venye kunaendanga, tunaitajingi play every so and so. Bas. Okay? Yeah. And I think by that time, the way you're part of a team, and you feel this is something that I can do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's the expectation.
Yeah.
Yes, but pia internally uko.
Internally, yeah. So
let's-
those two meet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
The beauty of youth as well. Unajua?
The beauty of youth.
The audacity of youth.
The audacity. Yeah, the audacity of youth.
Yeah.
Mi nitaandika, mniambii kitu na
nini?
iko ni nani.
Yeah.
Si ufanyaga, si
andika, yeah.
Let's go. Hapo sawa basi. Aya.
Kabisa.
So tuko second play.
So to go second play,
Yeah.
so did that
Bride
play.
price.
The bride price. So that play, I think, was now the top at the top, cream de la cream of that play. I think what it did, even for the people who performed in it, I think it just made a lot of people feel alive by themselves. Okay, we did that show again. We took it to KNT. Okay, we did that show. It was a Christian play. I remember very well. So it was. And I remember the play was about, I think, reconciliation between two sisters. It was a reconciliatory play between, it was just restoring a relationship between two people. Okay, and I think the emotional themes, right, and the depth of the play meant so much, right, to audiences, to ourselves who wrote the play, and it just became our, like, a lighthouse for the work we had done in Campo, at least for me. Right, it became so meaningful. Just the fact that I think that's the time when I started understanding that anything you write or anything you put out has an impact. It's not just for entertainment. You don't know how it's going to affect people.
Yeah.
You don't know how it's going to touch people's lives. You don't know how it's gonna penye italand kwa wase, all right?
Wow.
That play did that for us and for me particularly as a writer. And I think that's when it's yani hapo ndio unaria kumbe unaandikanga vitu zinafika mahali.
I'm amazed because this is maybe 2004, 5
now,
to 5, eh?
Yeah.
So you're in that year,
Yeah, I'm in third
you
year.
what, maybe 20 or 21.
Yeah.
Sindio?
Yeah.
And this is
Yes.
these are the lessons you're learning.
Imagine.
Mimi sisi tuko kuna fukuzana na madem.
Same time,
Hey, kuna dem alikuwa ananistress hapo hiyo time. But story for another day.
And then you see the thing is like, yeah, this really affects society, the work that you put out there.
Yeah.
You're realizing this at 22, 21,
Exactly.
22
Yeah.
bana.
Exactly.
Me, I was just in campus. Me at that time, you remember me? I was dancing.
Yeah, by the
Student
way.
center.
Me, I was dancing. Not, I love
Your
dancing.
word.
But yeah.
Impact for us may come to make sense in our mid-20s. Oh, impact. Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, some of this, of course, hindsight has clarified some of these things.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I have a question.
Uliza.
So moving from Love Unconditional, being the first play that you actually write,
Yes.
to Bride Price,
Yeah.
is there a change
Yeah.
in your writing process or how you seeing things?
Yeah, I think there was. I think I think that Love Unconditional was very high in entertainment value. It was supposed to excite, make you wah wah wah. All right. So it was very colorful, hypey, that kind of thing. I think by the time now we're writing and staging Bride Price, the key focus was the message and the theme.
Yeah.
And I don't. For me, I think that is just natural growth, rather than even you've gone and seen how Love Unconditional received, then you go write your notes, then you say, you know what, the next play we want it to be this way.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just natural process, ni budding, not just the way the flower buds. I think it's that kind of thing. Yeah. It just happened, and when you look at it, you now realize, whoa,
Yeah, that is what that was.
Okay, that is what that was.
What a beautiful thing.
Right?
Yeah.
It was.
And you guys, I guess even for the first one, watch out to focus on that. By the time you're deciding to go to KNT,
Yeah.
is this a thing that the first generation had done? Ama you were the first of your kind?
Yes. So going to KNT.
KNT is Kenya National
National
Theatre.
Theatre. Yes,
Yeah.
this is the home ground of of theatre in Kenya, actually. Yeah. So going to KNT was a big move. So the first generation had not. Okay, we had taken the play outside, but I think to smaller spaces where we've been invited. So it wasn't commercial. So KNT was our move into being professionals, into the commercialization of this thing.
Yeah.
Okay? Kwani iko nini
bana.
at the very least, the audience that will come, si ni wazazi wetu na mashosho zetu na maguga zetu, si watavurutana twende. That's why the ticket price was like 200 bob, because when you're hosting your first show, you're like, okay, watu watakuja kwe, wacha tu tuweke tiko and 200 bob was not too cheap that then. I mean, shows were for 500 bob and so on. Yeah. So 200 bob was half price, market rate, what I'd say. So it was still big for university students who, I mean, it's not like anybody would consider that a professional show.
Yeah.
They'd consider it inile show ya ma students. All right? Inile show ya ma students. So it was it was a big move on our part. It was us wanting to feel like, why don't we see how people are going to take us seriously out there?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was a big move.
Was there a particular pressure for you as in that point of leadership? Are you thinking,
Yeah. I actually remember, I think when I floated the idea of doing this thing in KNT, it took a while for it to sink. Of course, company kuchocha. Yes. It was like, mko sure. KNT hata wanafanyanga nini? Wata accept nini. Yani, we didn't even know whether people go to KNT and it's like an invitation, ama mnaendanga tu. We didn't even know the system of going to KNT.
Yeah.
So all this was just new. So for me, I think being in leadership, I think it was to try to take people to a place where they will feel they've achieved something bigger for themselves.
Yeah.
Like they've done the whoa moment.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow.
That was what it was.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm still astounded. You see, like whatever you just said.
Yeah.
Now, like just shifting from even just the arts into like overall leadership.
Yeah.
This is how you're thinking at that age,
Yes,
that you want
yes.
people to feel
Yeah.
big. This is what is driving you really
Exactly.
at this age. Is that something that was premeditated, or did you just find yourself naturally gravitating towards leading people and rallying them towards a cause, towards something that makes them feel bigger than themselves?
Yeah. I think I've always felt leadership coming naturally to me, maybe because I don't know, I dare quite a bit. I try to lead a path. I felt like a lot of the things I've done have kind of not been mainstream style. Nile unaambia wase, okay, tunaweza fanya hii, si tunaweza fanya, tunaweza fanya, haya basi tufanye. So I think it's more a place for I've seen people do this. Why don't we try? What's the worst that can happen? Right? These days I like saying you can never blame yourself for trying something. Why jaribu tu? Yeah, what's the worst that can happen? So I think that's what it was. You have a team, and you can feel like they need, if they do it one step higher than they're doing it now, it'll change something for them. It'll just make them feel greater about who they are. Okay, so throw the challenge to them, find out what it is that they can, that what that next step is for them, and point them to that direction, and then warn. And I've seen, of course, now this is also now later, that people just want that. People want somebody to show them uko ndio tunaenda na tuende na tufike. Yeah, it excites people. Vision drives people more than anything else. Yani wanataka tu kujua tu atumesema ni wapi
twende. I like that. Hiyo ni soundbite. Monica, umesikia hiyo soundbite? Hiyo ni noma. And I really like that, man. I really like that.
Okay. So bride price?
Price. Aya, twende hata hapo tuko bride price. Najua soon enough tunamaliza kampo.
Yes.
But at the back of your mind, around bride price, and sasa the first one as well, are we thinking style? Is it a choice? Because now I feel this is my style as a writer, as a director. Are we thinking style? Ama this is now something that comes later?
We are thinking style. And so the style is two things at this point. The style is the team we have, the resources we have. Okay, so in Campo, as I said, free labor, you have watu wanataka kuimba, uko na watu wanataka kudance, uko na watu wanataka kutengeneza, kuchora stage. So you have a stage, you have a platform, and you have all these different people who want to be on that stage. So what do? You create something that asks for everything. Okay, so you write a show that has music, that has dance, that allows people to build props, that allows people to. Mpaka we had now engineers, their time came. Engineers, their time came. Let me tell you, engineers used to do lighting. Okay, so they would would buy these colored bulbs. You know, these red zima bulbs.
Yeah.
They would wire the serials, parallel. Nakumbuka hizo vitu. And they would have like dimmer switches. They would have like flicker switches, and they would line up the stage with two lights. So when we have a crowd scene and happy, somebody just switches on, unaona tu matatu zinafanya hivi. Let me tell you. That's why art is as an employer.
Yes.
Munasikia serikali, ababu na mwamba, you listening? It is an employer. So basically, you've kind of created something that everybody is part of. Yeah. And this is now what even Akina Freddy did even before us. So they created shows that everybody had to participate. So that now informs the style that you're doing. So kidogo unajipata every time you're writing, you're thinking, I need music here, I need nini here. And the shows I do till today, okay, have the same DNA and characteristic from when we were doing in Campo. I still think of music, I still think of dance, I still structure the show the same way. So it has become the identity.
It's pretty dope.
Okay, so bride price, but clearly it feels like, based on whatever Matu said earlier, this is not even your last stop in Campo.
No,
there is more to come. Tuendelee basi.
Sawa. So I failed my exams in third year.
Plot twist.
Plot twist. Have to be, acha niseme, unajua saa zingine pia ni vizuri kusisanitize. It kind of affected my ninis kidogo, my studies kidogo, because I mean I would, as I say, deep dive. So it would get to a point where it affects my somo kidogo. So I remember I failed 3 papers in third year. Third year is it third year or fourth year? I think it's fourth year. That's a trick year, because if you fail papers, there's a very tough system in JKUAT. If you fail those papers, you'll have to return. You'll have to do a whole year, or rather, you'll have to wait for the next class so that you sit those papers again. So you're out a whole year. Utaambia mzazi nini? Ati ulikuwa unafanya nini? Ulikuwa unafanya nini? Sijui whatever play, sijui
cinema.
Nani alikutuma huko? My parents are nice. They will not do that. But you can see the expectation, okay? I remember. So we had to go sit a supplementary, which is like a round 2 of the exam. If you fail that, you're back. Mimi sijawahi ongea na mwalimu kama hiyo siku. I literally had to beg my lecturer. You know that thing where umefanya paper and you know hapa mi sijui kama niko sawa. And this paper whether you do way after school, so you have not even really been in the system of studying. Umetolewa kidogo. I remember telling my teacher this thing has to work. Aki siwezi rudi. Yani please find a way for me. We are 3 guys. Yani tuli plead, tulienda tukamwona tukamwambia this is the way things are.
Do you remember the unit?
I think it was electromagnetics. It was a very tough unit. These highly conceptual mathematical units. Very tough unit. Yeah. No, I think it was transmission. Wait, I'm sorry, I forget.
It's okay.
But it was one of those.
Yeah.
Those tough units. Zile zenye unajua mnaingianga class mko dread. That's what happened. I don't know by what grace he decided to just see us through. Jamaa akatupitisha. Yani, I mean, I've never been grateful for anything like that guy that time. Because he held the fate of my single maybe, and who knows what would have happened after that academic year in his hands at that point. Yeah.
Ukatoboa hiyo.
Nikaruka hapo. And that was good. I think it kind of also brought me back to reality that we chunga bwana. This is At this point I think I'm a 4th year now. Yeah. Make sure, I mean, finish strong. Toka hapa vizuri.
Yeah.
Don't throw it all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. JJ. I feel like from experience in uni as well, when that happens, for a lot of people, they lose that balance. Like on a trip, and it's so hard for them to come back because for some reason I feel like the bearing is already off at that point. How did you manage to still maintain, even if ulianguka easy papers, you still maintained that vision of I need to really, I'm doing the arts and I love doing that, but I really need to also clear my degree. Because a lot of people don't manage to keep that balance and see it through to the end. True. We know a lot of people. Ni easy sana. How did you maintain that vision?
I think I was just I think as I've said, the reality of it I think hit me and maybe also not choosing to stay and to figure out what's important for now, what needs to be done, expectations around me from home, from my parents, from that. So I have a good relationship with my parents. So there's also the feeling that, okay, you also don't want to just come back home with some stories and some excuses and people are expecting something of you. And you've traded it for your own things. So at the very least, do both nicely. Okay, usiseme umetupanisha moja umeleta ingine, hapana. Okay, and you know the generation of our parents, it would be it's almost like a subliminal contract. Umefanya yangu, aya sawa,
fanya yangu,
kenya unafanya hata hiyo si shida yangu, lakini so long as umefanya yangu. So I think that was it. I think just the ability to just say, okay, you know, this is important as well. Maliza tu vizuri.
Love the self-talk there.
Look at that. Aya, let's fast forward to your now first professional show.
Right.
Personally, the first time nilisikia JJ na nikasikia hii Nairobi vitu zimesababishwa ilikuwa, was it Bei ya Jioni? Which came first, Bei ya Jioni ama Rockman? Bei ya Jioni. And I even remember the posters, Nico. Because sasa tumeshinda Phoenix and already tuko na mahojis wetu, then hii side ingine not much was going on. Hii side ingine sana ni walikuwa nashika akina Jalango with a few things here and there. Then unasikia Bei ya Jioni yuko and okay, who are this guy? Saa hapo ndio nilianza kuuliza, umsema ze kule JKUAT bana, walikuwa nasababisha bana. So how do we get there? Because I feel kuna tangent ulitake kabla sasa urudi pande nyingine. What is that kagap happening before sasa vitu zi blow up?
Electromagnetics.
Yes, that happened. So is it straight after campo tunaingia office work ama how do we find ourselves back into the arts?
So 208 graduation year, all went well. Right. So I got my first I got a job in an engineering company. Okay. So iron your shirt in the morning, iron your trousers in the morning, weka ile laini ya hapa.
Yeah.
Tuko na Abu bado?
Abu mko na sana.
Very nice. Iron, unaweka ile, unakumbuka ile laini ya hapa.
Lazima,
Alright, show up to the office. I worked that job, I think all of, was it 3 weeks?
Wow. Okay. Nagoje 3 years.
Cool. 3? What? 3 years ya nani? I think it was 3 weeks or maybe slightly more than that.
Yeah, about so less than a month.
Yeah. I remember, and I'm sorry to this for my employers, because I was young and stupid. Do you know how I quit that job? I did not show up. Nilikosa tu kwenda office. Cold turkey. Pole sana at West Communications. I was young and foolish.
Yeah.
All right. Of course, but why? Because I think this is just a young man, emotionally led, feeling that this is not what you are supposed to do. This is not your space. And of course, I didn't know how to deal with it at the time. All I knew was drop and go. Look for other things.
Yeah.
Okay. So I dropped the job. Okay. Now that's 2008. That's end of 2008. So 2009 nikajichocha. Remember I told you I used to do graphic design. So I used to do a lot of design work. I used to do a lot of posters and logos and all that. Okay. So that was kind of my other creative bug. Okay. To the point that I used to make a bit of money when I was in Campo. I'd charge 1 or 2 100 shillings to make a poster here and there. So I'd buy myself nice chapatis and kukus at the restaurant.
Got to sawa.
I would
And the 17K, man. And the
17K still working. Hiyo siwezi kula kama watu wetu. Give people their thing.
What are you using? Uko kwa Corel Draw?
So at that point I'm using Corel Draw.
Okay.
Yeah. Like an old desktop computer. So I leave my job, I start doing some graphic design work. Okay. Oh, nini, can you do this? Or logo design, nini design. And as you can imagine, that's very tough for a young 23, 22 year old in Nairobi. Kazi ngumu sana. But of course you have the mentality that you can do anything. Let's do this. So I kimbizana with this biashara for about 2 years. Okay.
Are you doing it by yourself?
I'm doing it by myself.
Ni briefcase kabisa.
Ni briefcase kabisa iko kwa nyumba.
Okay.
At that point I'm living with housemates Andy and Tash. Niko na meza pale. Kazi yangu ni ku design.
Interesting.
So I get 1 or 2 contracts. I get 1 or 2 nini just from
Nashikanisha. Wait, so you made the choice kubaki Nairobi?
Yes. Oh yeah. So after Campo I never went back to LD. Yeah.
So sasa uko na kina Andy who you are with in Campo?
No. Sasa these are now friends. Tumekutana kwa dunia. Tash tulikuwa naye kwa Campo. Yes. So we meet, we have this house, tunaingia.
Okay.
Tunaishi. Kawa naume.
Yeah. Kawa Nigeria.
Do your folks know?
My folks know. So I'm giving them what I would call need to know information. Okay? Because I know they are not going to approve of me having quit a job.
Yeah.
That, especially that dramatically. So tuko need to know basis. Uko sawa? Niko sawa, naendelea na kazi. Okay. Kwanza I remember there's a day my parents said they want to come and see where I live. Hey. Nipanic aje. What? Cause of course venye mnaishi, this was even before I got roommates. Now I was living alone before I got roommates. Kwa kabed sita fulani hapo kameparara aje.
Uko wapi? Kwa juu jabani?
Hapana, niko Jamu, nimeget SQ.
Okay.
Nimeget SQ. Kameparara. Mzee amesema ametoka India, anataka kuona penye kijana yake anaishi. Where does my firstborn live? You know, I never used to cook. I never used to nyumba ilikuwa ya kulala. Let me tell you, that day I bought a cooker, nikaiweka hapo, nikanunua meko, nikaiweka hapo for optics.
Yeah.
Baka akianyao stupid. Madhi alikuja, unajua mama ni mama. Anakuja anaangalia na hizi vitu. John, umewahi hata tumia? They are spanking new. I think they just figured this guy. Ujamaa anaishi tu Kenya. Ana put up to my appearances tu hapa. So that was kind of my life. It was. I'll admit it. those were tough. That was a tough business. Tough years. So at that point, so I've done that. This is what year? This is 2009 into 2010. So I've skimmed this thing. It's not been easy. Okay, I angukia maybe 1 or 2 contracts. I get a company that will give me some brochures. Kuuza shamba huko naunda hivyo. At that point, trust me, I've done graphic design. I've sold papers for printing. I've done some MC work. I was doing some MC work as well for weddings, for events. So I'd be hired to do nalipwa kadhaa hapo hivyo. A good friend of mine was a wedding planner at that point, so she would get me 1 or 2 gigs. 1 or 2 gigs. I didn't even really see myself as a professional wedding MC or anything. It was too MCing, yeah. And that season, a lot of my age mates were also getting married.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is a couple of years after Campo.
These are a couple of years after Campo. Yeah. So people are in their mid-20s and they are watu wanajituma. So you're always on a wedding somewhere, somebody sees you. I like that MC, kuja. So that happened. So that 2.5 year period, I filled it with that kind of work. Graphics.
You were hustling.
I was hustling. Nairobi too. Then I was getting married myself, 2011. Okay.
Oh.
Yes.
Hey, hapa tunasonga.
There's a way we change.
I have a very stupid question. What sort of an MC were you? Ulikuwa kama Mato, chekesha watu.
So
now jampea context.
Mato whenever he does, he's gone through the same phase. Phase, yeah. A lot of his friends getting married, and he's really good at it. He did my wedding as well. We spoke about it in one of the last episodes.
Really?
Yeah. So Mato Nilam say he's a very orderly person.
Yeah.
Like he wants to make sure that the wedding is running really well. It's really classy. Everything is running according to structure. We're on time, and everyone feels, very comfortable.
Yeah.
Alafu sasa kuna wale wanakuja, hey, si uchekesha watu kidogo.
Unaanza kupiga jokes. Maze.
So unachoka na joke ni kazi.
Exactly.
Stand up, man. That's
exactly what I said. Do you remember?
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly. I nilikuwa Mrs. stand-up comedian. That's a different craft.
And hire someone else.
Exactly. But anyway, did you at least enjoy it?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
There was the element of making people fight. But now you see, it's almost like, pia kuna pia audience ingine, the humor goes vernacular. Lazima sasa uingie ki vernacular.
Yeah.
So I remember even Jean, her name is Jean. Her name is still Jean. She would hire me to do emceeing because she used to say at least I am a balanced MC. So I have a little bit of jokes, but I also have a little bit of order, and I also know how to talk to young people, and I also know how to talk to
the older generation.
So everybody's gonna feel comfortable. That should be put on a poster somewhere. I don't know why I've never. Yeah, that's a good name.
Make the poster.
I know.
Oral draw.
Yeah. So that's basically the type of MC I was.
Yeah. Okay, so to wedding season. Met myself, my lovely bride Beth, back in Campo. So hiyo pia ilikuwa side project pale. Look at that. Hey, boss, ulikuwa na juggle.
Hii
maneno unaielewa.
Engineering, mageldem.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Yes. Okay. Tuko kazi hapa.
Yeah.
Nothing has to suffer. Tunatoka tumeshinda kila kitu.
Hapa ni kazi tu.
Yeah, so
that's what's up.
Yeah. So that happened. So at that point, I am. I mean, it's looking like this thing is not gonna shikilia the home kidogo. So I start looking for work. Then I get a call from Aaron Kandia, the late friend of mine, passed away last year. Fantastic gentleman. So he calls me and tells me there's a vacancy in their agency. So at this point, graphic design is getting its payoff.
Yeah,
it's getting a payoff. So I get into advertising. I skumma that ship for about another up to 2013. About 3 years, 11, 12, 13, yeah.
2011 wedding happened.
Yes, wedding happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hiyo tukaitinga vizuri.
Hiyo tukaitinga vizuri,
Yeah.
tukaleta madam pale kwenye boma.
Ukaanza
maisha pamoja.
Hii ni ile gas.
Ini ile
nilikuwa na vision.
I knew you were coming. Nilianza mapema. Yeah, I'm not that kind of man. No. You'll find the house as a few things.
Okay.
That's what's up.
I remember an interview around a roadside photo shoot or something.
We did not kwa dam huko msitu.
Yeah.
At that point Ben Kiruthi was and Mutua Madheka, those two photographers ndio walikuwa wana imani.
Niliona credits za Mutua Madheka niko
excuse me.
Look at that.
And funny thing, all those guys were in JKUAT. It was in JKUAT. Ben was my classmate in JKUAT.
Yeah.
So
nikuita maboys.
Nikuita
come through.
Come through. Fantastic. So
okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
Unajua hiyo time wedding ilikuwa kushikiliwa na skodi.
Yes.
Achana na siku hizi kuna wedding planners. Yeah, I know.
It's different now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So 2013 maisha imeanza ya familia.
Yes.
Career sasa ndio unaingia into ad.
I've done advertising. Okay. So I did advertising, and advertising for me was a mixed feelings space. Okay. Advertising, of course, I went into advertising with the expectation of this is the epitome of creativity and creative expression. Right? If you want to create, you better be in advertising. Okay. Went into it, did it. And I think I got a bit of a mixed feeling from it. Why? Because as much as advertising is a place where ads are created and all that, I also felt like it didn't give me enough room to express. Okay, I remember telling my bosses, I want to do more, I want to write more, I want to do a lot more copy in this space, and it was even hard to penya. Okay, I usually tell people I was in advertising and I never even once went to a set. Ever. Wanashinoga kwa mimi. Yeah. Why? At that point, I think for me, especially maybe the agency I was working with, it was a lot more senior guys who would go out. So I was a young junior guy. Kapale, produce. Okay. So I was nilikuwa mtu wa ndani, mtu wa kukaa kwa ofisi. Okay. And I think that frustrated me because I think I felt I wanted to do more. Mimi nataka kwenda hizi vitu bana.
You've done it, I mean.
Hey. Si tunazionaga kwa TV. Why don't we go? And I think that kind of became a bit of, I'd say, my frustration with the corporateness of advertising. Okay, but I mean, fantastic space for many people. It has made careers for many people. I'm just saying, for myself, it really didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course, now I came to understand later that it was because I think I just felt. I think for me, the expression of it, the being able to create, was the bigger part of it. Working in those spaces is more of fitting things into boxes that people have designed. You have brand manuals, you have everything. So you have to design things within certain restrictions. And that, I mean, after first week, it's exciting. 3-4 weeks in, you're like, oh, okay. So I just put the logo here, I do this, I do this. Okay, fine. It's done. Next. All right. So it becomes a factory. It's good for business because that's how businesses work. But also, I mean, for the art of it, it's a bit stifling.
Yeah.
So I left.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah.
So between 2008,
Yeah.
when you left uni,
Yeah.
to this point, maybe this is maybe 5-6 years.
Yes.
There's no mention of you doing anything theater related.
No, I wasn't.
Nothing.
Nothing. So,
and then are you missing it?
So at this point, I am missing it deadly. Okay. In fact, I am attending because that same window. I think it was 2011, 2012. I'm attending some shows that are this group of kina Yafesi, Mugambi, Njora, kina Kanji Mbogo, they used to do in Mavuno, Village Christmas, Village Easter.
Yeah.
Hey. Let me tell you, you go watch a show like this and you're like, I want to do that.
You miss
Kwanza
it
there's
so
a
bad.
particular show, I think Yafesi was acting like a mad guy. I can't remember the name. It was one of the Village Christmas.
This is the one that had Joe Kenywa. Is it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Not sure. Yeah.
Because that's the one. Yafesi was
Like a mad
slightly
guy.
absurd.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
If I'm not wrong. Yeah.
I watched that show nilikuwa front seat. Ushaiona kitu na ukasema I'm in the wrong job.
Oh God.
This is what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think I've ever told Yafesi that.
Interesting.
That show made me say and decide narudi kwa hii kazi. Hii ndio kazi sasa. That one show. Missing it deadly.
Yeah. This is so powerful for me because I remember watching the show na mimi ilikuwa on screen from home.
Yes. They used to record them, yeah.
I had a weird feeling. Mi nilikuwa practicing, but hata mi nilikuwa, no, I need to be doing this.
Really, eh?
Yeah, look at that. One moment in us connect.
Full circle.
In all these different journeys.
I knew there was something.
Yeah,
Brilliance. Haiwezi kuwa na chance.
No, that's powerful though. That's what, maybe pia by this year Joe Kenya, I think they did back to back kadhaa zimefuatana.
They did a number. Right. They used to do like 2 big shows a year, like for 3, 4, 5 years, and they used to be hit after mega after hit after what.
Look at that.
So
is this now what makes you start thinking of leaving? Ama uliamka tu siku moja ukapiga pasi ukamua, let's do the thing?
No, this time I was a bit. I've become a grown up kidogo. Now I know.
And you have a wife. You cannot do that.
So I put in, of course, a request to leave. I put in the longest notice I think I've not been employed much, but it was a long, I think it's like a 2-month notice. I was like,
heads up,
I'm done. Why are you going? Mi naenda kufungua kurudi kufanya kazi ya theater. Okay, that's all I know. That's 2013 August. I remember very well.
How wait, sorry, how was the conversation with your wife at home? Beth, right?
Yes, Beth. Hey, my dear wife. Hey, my dear wife, nimempitisha mahali mabonde kidogo. It was not an easy conversation. I think my wife is a corporate minded, very very structured, very napenda vitu zikiwa order. Okay, mimi I'm a bit of a free spirit. Unashinda ukienda left, right and center. I'll not lie, it was a tough season. Okay, even after I left for a number of years there, it was not easy. Okay, because I also left it was a bit radical. Yes, it was planned, but it was still not, the leaving was planned, but the next thing was not fully planned. Okay, so nilijipata niko okay, how do people do this thing? Okay, and a good example is because it actually took me 1.5 years before I staged a show.
Wow.
A whole one, because you're trying to do it, it's not working. You're trying to do it, you're postponing. You're like, you fixed a date, you start working on it, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You have to postpone. There's no money. Oh, okay. At that point, I'm not in the industry. No, I've never been like in mainstream industry. I've never known how it works. Okay. All work I've done for theater is what?
JQuat. Yeah.
So I don't have any industry knowledge, any mainstream knowledge, any understanding of how this thing is done. I don't know auditions. I don't know any actor. I don't know any producer. Asijui. Mi nataka tu kufanya hiki.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we stage our first show with who? Guys from JQuat.
You go back to the people.
Those are the people you know. Those are the actors you know. And all of us tumemaliza campo sasa. Now everybody's out there, but people have a bit of time. Their jobs are not as big, as busy. So we used to rehearse Saturday peke yake.
Wow.
Mi hata nashindo tulikuwa tunafanyaje hiyo show. We used to rehearse 1 day a week, and not even a full day, because people are busy.
Yeah. And how are you funding this? Are you paying for rehearsal space?
So at this point, I'm getting very affordable rehearsal space now from people who I know. I got a school compound. Okay, so I know someone there. They don't use, schools are closed on Saturdays, sindio. So they give us like 1,000 bob. Kuja tu rehearse tu, yani ile kutuhurumia tu. Yeah. So we get some connections here and there. And that's how we fund the thing. We don't actually, I don't even say we are funding the thing. We are doing it as we sell tickets.
Yeah.
And paying for 1 or 2 things here and there. That's what we did. There was no structure around it at all. At all. As I'm telling you, we don't have any there's no mainstream, there's no industry knowledge. I don't have any industry
of how this works. Yeah.
I don't have a mentor or somebody to hold your hand and tell you this is how things are done. Excuse me.
If you're to go back to this point, because I feel like this is and this is very selfish as well,
Yeah.
because I find myself over and over in this theme of I have had the same feeling of I should be doing that because Mato and I met in theater,
Okay.
like early 2008, and then me I left and pursued another career.
Zingine,
But
right.
once in a while, I love that feeling.
Yeah.
You know, so this is somewhat a selfish question, which
Yeah.
is, if you're to go back, would you do that jump off or that transition? Would you manage it differently?
I think I would.
Okay. What are the things you'd change?
Number one, I think I'd probably work or join an existing production first, like the way Phoenix did. So you see what people gained from Phoenix? I didn't get that. And in fact, when people always speak about what Phoenix did for them, I always think back and say, I did not get a Phoenix thing. Because what Phoenix did for people is it incubated people for the industry. Okay? Mimi niliingia kimangoto, kigarage, yani hivyo tu. Okay? And I think the reason why it took so long, because think about it, Phoenix was staging plays how frequently? Like every other...
Yeah, quite. It was repertory. So there was always a play any day of the week.
Yeah.
Well, at least most days of the week.
Yeah. I would struggle to do a show. It would take a year plus 2 years to do one show. Because yani umepigwa setback, okay, with so much, because now you don't know how the thing works, you don't know so you're taking all the blows, you're taking all the punches, and there's nowhere you don't have recovery. So the recovery is time and debt, and that takes time. Okay, so uko tu hapo. I remember it was dark moments. I gained weight. When I get stressed, I gain a lot of weight. So it became so bad. It became personal. It became such a rough time because, and I didn't know what was happening. Ni ile tu, wewe unafikiria vitu ni ngumu, even though vitu zinakuwa, but you realize, bro, kumbe umeingia hii kitu, umedropiwa kiparachute in the middle of the nini, and you're trying to figure your way out. So I definitely have worked with a production house, which is something I'm also trying to do now for guys now. Okay, and we can get to that later. Just being able, one of the things I really wanted was to you know when you see people uko mbali, you how can I get to that person, and it becomes very difficult. Okay, so that's a big gap. Yeah. So that's what I felt.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So 1.5 years later, you've brought together your JQuat peeps.
Yes.
This is all you know, really.
Yeah.
Right. What's the show?
So I've gone back to home ground. I've brought my people. We've done a show called Makofi ya Kilo.
Makofi ya Kilo.
Makofi ya Kilo.
I love your titles. Like I love your titles. Yeah.
Makofi ya Kilo was the first political satire show. Now that was our first professional show, my first professional play. Staged at Alliance Francaise, I remember. At that point, even the poster does not have, it just has the show name. There's no identity. There's no who is doing this show. No, these days I look back at that poster and I'm like, this poster does not make sense. Because it is saying a show is coming, but it has no context. Yeah. And these days, the first thing I see a show is, why? Because we didn't have a name at that point. Tulikuwa tunafanya show as now we are ex-JQuat guys doing a show. In fact, I remember Margareta reviewing that show and saying, ex-JQuat person, JJ. Because even her, I think alikuwa zile za, sasa tuite huyu jamaa. That's what she did. Imagine, I got so offended. I was like, JQuat was, I finished school 5 years ago. So, yeah. But anyway, so that's the first show we did. That was a tough show. We were able to, I didn't pay anybody for that show. Didn't. Nanienda home na deni. I couldn't afford. I remember tulikuwa tunauza tiko 500 bob. 3 days before the show we had not sold a ticket. Hata moja.
Wow.
Tulishukisha bei. Tukasema bog off. Okay? 200 and imagine 250. I was back to 200 shilling shows anyway. And for some reason, and I think now this is why I started understanding ticketing and how people buy tickets in Kenya. People buy tickets 2 days before the show, final weekend. So we were able to sell out the show okay, hapo alionza, I mean it's 200 seater, so
Na ni Bogoff.
na ni Bogoff manze, oh my gosh, yani roho, I was swept away with emotion, yani nilikuwa yani watu wamekuja show, watu wamekuja show. Of course I could see a lot of familiar faces, watu wako ndio wanakujanga ya kwanza. I could see a lot of familiar faces, and man, it was just so, it was full circle. I think this was the first show. Now remember, the last show I did was in Camposo. This is the first show in like 7-8 years. Okay, so a friend of mine called Mato had tortured me. Told me, JJ, please get back to this thing. Get back to this thing. Do this thing. You can do it. I think he had gone for another play, and so sasa watu wanafanya nini? Mi najua mse anafanyanga hizi vitu poa. Akanipigia. I think and he called me when he was outside that show. I've seen a show here. I think I can do better. Fanya ma show. So that's how I got to do Makofi Kilo. 2015. That show was postponed like 5 times. It was to happen 2014, I think, early. Postpone. 2 months, postpone. By the time tunaifanya, 2015 Feb.
And are you writing, directing,
yes, I'm writing
producing?
and directing. And
okay.
producing, yes. And designing the poster and going to look for venues. Kila kitu.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that, maze. Mi unajua hata kile nafikiria niko every time like I see your journey, I'm thinking, oh yeah, that is where I was at that time. Na niko, why didn't we exchange notes? Unajua, why didn't we exchange notes? But anyway, hadi umemention Mato, niko, or did we? It's a different Mato.
Yes, a different Mato.
Okay, so what are you telling yourself by the time you're doing it again?
Yeah.
Unajua, like we always give this example of Kamande after second born amekuja, ako the challenges that came with the first, yet you find yourself falling in love with it again. So after the challenges with your first show, how do you find yourself doing it again? What are you telling yourself? Ndio wende, by the way, we do it again.
I think I'm telling myself, mistakes happen. Learn from your failures and try again. It will work out.
Yeah.
And you have enough clarity that this is what you really want to do.
At that point,
you've done engineering. Obviously, that's out. You're not going back to ironing shirties. You've done advertising and whatever else you're really good at, which is graphic design.
Exactly.
And so you're not going back to that again.
Exactly.
You're very sure that this is what you really want to do.
Exactly.
You have that clarity of purpose, which is amazing.
The next one is a hit.
The next one is a hit.
So the next one, Jioni actually becomes the show that kind of launches who we are. At that point now we've organized Kidogo, we have now a production company. It's called Chatterbox, and we are doing this. I'm still working with some JQuat guys, but it's now a bit more professional. Okay. So I think I write a good script, okay, for political satire. It's election year, so it's very timely with what is
2017,
happening.
right?
2017. It's election year. So it's what's happening. It's a sensitive election because so it becomes like this is what people want to talk about kind of thing. And then we put the message in a lot of humor, comedy. The show is about a wedding, but it's about siasa. So we kind of have a good juxtaposition of it all, okay? That the audience really appreciates, okay? We throw in music, all right? We bring in Shamsi, okay? Fantastic band, again composed of 1 or 2 guys from JQuat. So tumewaleta tu ndani. Okay, get some good vocalists, Manasseh, a lady called Kendi, and Emma, all right, Emma Nyabera. They come in, we partner with Modo, a company called Modo. This is a friend of mine called Brian, and his partner Howie from JQuat again. Okay, so tunaleta na bring the gang back together. Okay. So we are a bit more organized. The show looks a bit bigger. There's higher stakes. You need to perform. You need to produce something well. We rehearse a bit better. Okay, so we have all these tools now that we are learning about preparing for a show. So we've seen a few things about how people work. Okay, so we've still not gone. Bado tuko tu tunafanya tu njaro yetu, but at least we are observing. We know. Okay. This is how people do good shows. Okay, at that point I think I don't know if Tinga Tinga had come before or after. So we've seen some shows that have inspired us. We've seen some things that have
Tinga is slightly after. Ama the first
version
one
of
it.
Ile walifanya
first
kwa
version
hema.
of it.
Not the one at the theater. Ile walifanya kwa hema. I think it was before.
Yeah.
So it has inspired us kidogo. We've seen a few things that have that has made us okay.
And sorry to cut you short. Are you also talking? Are you now? After the first show, talking to people who have gone through the phoenixes, people who've been in this side of the industry longer. Are you taking notes from them? Are you having conversations?
So at that point, I've met Justin Mirich. Okay, so Justin is now ni mtu wa industry ndani. Unafanya hivi, unafinya hivi, ukimkamua hivi ni industry inatoka. So he has kinda chaperoned this journey, this show, together with Sakina. Actually, they just came and attended a rehearsal, and they became part of the team. Walikuja kutembea, walikuja kupitia, and they were in the team. Justin and Sakina, hiyo time ndio alikuwa na nini?
Finding
I saw that love blossom. So Justin has actually chaperoned. So I've gotten industry understanding from him. He's given me the whole, this is how this thing works, this is how this works. So he's part of the team. He's actually in production. He's working. Now he knows what actors need and all that kind of thing. Yeah. So that has now helped me kind of cross over from just being mtu wa huku kando now to coming
kwa periphery
in the
anymore.
industry. If there's somebody who brought me into the industry, it's Justin.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So inajenga structure.
Structure.
Him being around.
Exactly. Inajenga structure. Inapatia, hivi ndio show ufanywa.
Let's go.
Show ufanywa. Hivi ndio vitu ufanywa. So so we do the show. And the reception is amazing. We sell out the shows. And it's we even do it for 2 weekends. Hiyo ndio the first time tulifanya show for 2 weekends. Tulijisikia sisi watu wazima. Nafanya show weekend mbili. How? The marketing works because we had a very good strategy. We've hired a good photographer to piga picha poa. So even people are not, they're like, is this a play? What is this? Because I think at that point the kind of marketing we did is not really associated with plays. So it kind of stands out.
It was very out of the box for the play circles.
Exactly. So we are there, we do the show. At that point, it kinda now puts us somewhere on the map. So some big knowledge.
Hapa tumefika, vitu zimelipuka finally sasa in the theater circle. But I keep thinking, but you're also prolific at filmmaking. At what point does the filmmaking come in?
Okay.
So
filmmaking came in the year after 2018.
Okay.
So at this point, filmmaking is we uko ni wapi sasa? That is now big boy territory. Vijana tunafanyanga nini hapa kwanza? Uko ni kwa source. So I decided to do my first short film in 2018. Okay. So after Jioni, I think the confidence also iko kiasi. Ingia kidogo. Okay. At that point they are doing Macha. Macha imeanza kukua something.
Machawood.
Fred Mutua ameenda huko amesema kujeni mshoot. Na tunapeana 1 million. Okay.
There's some good things that came out of the whole Macha thing.
Macha was good. Me, I'm a product of Macha. I'll not even like I am a product. And I know 1 or 2 people who've needed.
No, it was super necessary.
I suppose it's because all we see are the Ferrari, not the F1 tracks that he didn't deliver.
No, Bandewa, what he did with the festival was quite needed. Not
people
only for
should
the
hear
time,
more,
but for
because I've heard it so many
for the
times on this
industry.
podcast about.
Me, I think it was fantastic. I mean, I don't know what happened to it, but it was that and 48 Hour. Those 2 things for those short film things.
Platforms,
I think they just I think they gave people a starting point.
They did. Yeah.
Mimi nasema mimi ni kijana wa Machawu.
Okay.
So I did that. So did that year. Okay.
What was your first entry?
So in 2018 I did 2 short films. So there's one called Trap. That one I did with Justin and Melissa. That one we put on YouTube. We didn't enter it for the competition because it didn't qualify.
Okay.
It didn't qualify. I wanted to, but the rules of the competition says you have to shoot in Macha. And we had already shot. So it was going to be complex. So I shot a film called Free at that point. Okay. starring Jackie Kaboy. It didn't do very well. Okay, it was the first film, Jackie Kaboy and Senjen. And some
unaangusha tu hapa Mautero. Ameweka tu Melissa uko.
I was like,
That's
Melissa
like the
Kitulaga.
biggest thing.
Let me tell you,
Yeah.
who is getting me these people?
Justo.
Thank you.
Yeah, kwa sababu right now Justo is ana thrive at the Phoenix. And look at that. Melissa is at the Phoenix.
Yeah.
Senjen is at the Phoenix.
Yeah,
okay, so yeah, I see.
So endo ananigetia
Uko na
hii
plug.
bomb. Mimi hakuna mtu ananijua.
Akona plug ya Mautero.
Una plug, yeah.
I mean, if you can't, nini, tafuta mse.
Exactly.
Tafuta mse. So Justin is getting me this. I need nini, ndakugetia. Pap.
I got you.
Pap, nakugetia. Pap, paps. Yeah. So naona Melissa ndio anafunza watu acting. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Doing very well.
Doing
Country
quite
Queen
well.
and all that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I do
Trap and Free.
I do Trap and Free. So I submit Free, didn't work out very well. Next year, which is now 2019. Oh, so Free doesn't do very well. But the same year, my friend Wale, Alex, all right, writes a script called Wakamba Forever.
It explodes.
Boom. Yes. And gets me to direct the thing.
Look at that.
So manze, Wakamba Forever becomes the film of the year. Watu wanafurahi, it becomes a meme and what have you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it on YouTube?
It is.
It is, right?
I think it should be on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll link to it.
Yes.
It is.
So it becomes this whole exciting thing.
Did you see it blow up that much?
No, I think everybody didn't even expect. Hata nakumbuka kwa WhatsApp groups watu walikuanga zile za hey, watu hii kitu imeenda. Hii kitu imeenda. So it was pretty obvious. I think we had won the thing even before. Yani ile if they announce something
Yeah.
It's different. This is where I was right there in the audience.
Oh, your time.
Yeah, ilikuwa mimi Gibi tumekaa kwa manyasi. Mimi Gibi pole tunafanya tu magang signs huko. Mimi Gibi tulikuwa tumeketi kwa manyasi.
Yeah.
Na tunaona this thing of course tunajua inaenda wapi.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was a big step, bro.
That was a big step. So when something like that happens, now you walk into every door with we are the guys who did
Wakamba Forever.
Mlipewa pesa?
Pesa ilikuja. Pesa ilikuja. It took a while, I'll be honest, but ilikuja. Yeah. Ilikuja eventually.
Yeah.
Watu wakafurahi.
Yeah.
So that was
19.
That was 20. Yeah, now we're 2019.
Yeah.
So 2019 we do another one called 318. Okay. Again, well received, and we won what? Best director, best actress for Nungo, best music, I think best set design. Yeah, best music for a guy called Mbithi, best set design for Siteya. Yeah.
This is that film has to be in my
Mbithi the only one, another Mbithi.
Paul Mbithi. No,
Okay.
not Mbithi.
Okay.
The rapper.
Not the rapper.
Okay.
Not just a band Mbithi, yeah.
I was like, you're just throwing names here.
Yeah, sorry. It's called Paul
Actually,
Mbithi.
kuna Mbithi kadhaa. What? Yeah.
It's called Paul Mbithi. Used to be in Shamsi band, and then he now does sound design.
That has to be one of my iko kwa top 5.
Iko top 5.
Kenyan short films.
Asante.
Yeah, 318 is there. And What Faith Did. Chuma
and
318.
Yeah. So that year competition was tight here because Faith had done Chuma. Then we had what other show was done there?
Q.
There was Man Down.
Man Down was then. Oh, Q is that year? Same year. Ama hiyo ni year before. Ama ni ya
No, Q was Wakamba Forever.
Yeah. Man Down was Wale.
Yeah. For you who's wondering, we'll link all this. Hopefully all of them are on YouTube. We'll link all of them. And it's like 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
7 minutes. 7 minutes. So it's in things that you can watch back to back. Yeah. I really enjoy watching them.
Yeah, they're pretty dope.
They're pretty dope.
Personally, I also felt nilikuget.
Yeah.
Nilikuwa 318 niko I see this guy. There's a genius behind the satire, but this time imetu hit. Like if you watch this you'll get it. Oh, this I get. This is the shit.
I know.
Congrats, man.
Asante.
Man.
It made us happy. I think that film made us happy.
Yeah.
Na
in a ripple effect, like going forward.
In a ripple. I mean,
how soon do you feel it?
How soon?
How soon do you feel the effect of how powerful it was? Like already calls in a camp for
I think what it did, it just made us, I think it made people understand probably the style of work that, at that point, I think I'm working on satire a lot. And it's now becoming, okay, now JJ, just the way you're saying, me nakuget sasa. Naelewa Kenya unajaribu kufanya. Naelewa the kind of narrative you have and the kind of storytelling that you tell. So I think it's becoming a bit more apparent now. Yeah, because even me, when you have a style, you don't even know that that people need to understand your style. Unafanya tu. Then the feedback comes, I see you. Then they're like, okay. Kumbe your style has to be understood by people. Okay, now I know.
Yeah. There you go. And it's also refining your voice.
Yeah.
Because if we are to talk about Kenyan filmmakers ama Kenyan artists who have a voice, you're among a few ambao, if it's literally a voice, utaisikia wende, that's JJ. Like that's Spike Lee. That's very Scorsese. And it's something that unaweza angalia their train uone, you see it. And maze big as for that.
That's Kigondo.
That's Kigondo. That's coming from Kigondo. That's coming
now
from
unasema in terms of voice.
Pia voice.
Pia voice.
Utaona show yake so pia usijisahau pia.
Absolutely.
But I have to to recognize that, maze.
Salute to you.
Look at that. So are we missing theater now that film is popping?
No. So at this point, we are grown-ups now. We think we have to do things at the same time. Okay.
I mean, you did engineering and art.
Yes.
And chasing the garden.
Exactly. So we are Chatterbox Film and Theatre. Okay. So we are trading with that name. We are looking to see how to see how we can storytell from both perspectives. Why? Because I'm a child of theatre, but I also know what film can do. Okay. There's a place where theatre cannot go that film can go. All right. And that's just exponentially increasing your audience. And I'm able to acknowledge that and appreciate it and say, these things, both of them can work. And I see the potential in both. And I want to build my narrative and my storytelling around both stages.
Look at that. Then is it now when COVID comes?
So after that 2020, yes. So after that, so we do Luanda Rockman, okay? That's 2019.
Luanda, another hit.
So Luanda Rockman was still our biggest show till today. I think we went, I think the design of the show in terms of the visual look, the understanding, the language, the humor. We've got fantastic actors. It just worked for us. Okay, so we were able to do a show that I think made people feel good about who they are as Kenyans. Those are the comments we were getting. You should take this to my son's primary school. They will really like it. Sasa ni wamama wamepanga after the show wanatuambia. Don't stop here at the theater. No. You know them. They always come after shows. So we love the show. Culturally, it has even made us realize something. Okay, people want to see shows about who they were. I mean, where they are coming from, heritage. Okay, people want to connect. We have a generation that wants that. Okay? I think because they've been raised so much in digital space, they want to find their way back. They want to find their way back. So they want to skip the digital and go all the way. People are dropping English names and all that. You know that thing. So tuko hapo. Watu wanataka hizo vitu sana. Actually wanazitanga colonial names. People are dropping colonial names and all that. So we figure this is something that is working, that we can see, and I can see the theater move towards that direction with the shows that we are seeing. A lot more shows are speaking to who people are. You look at what Two Alifa Birds have done. All right, fantastic. Probably one of the shows that has really it shook me. Like unajua unaenda show unasema, hey, I want to do what these guys are doing. Okay? Even if it is completely impossible to copy what they are doing. But I want to borrow a leaf from what these guys are doing. So you find that the way shows are moving, they have that cultural impact. Okay? And it's not just entertainment value anymore. It's who people are. And they come and see themselves, they're like, la 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 la. Hapa. And you can see the kind of shows that are happening now after that. So to your question, COVID came, yes,
COVID
and we were
comes.
able to, so down tools kabisa, that was zero, back to zero, figured out what happened, what is happening, trying to figure out what is happening. But what do I do with my downtime? I write. Okay. Yeah. Because what do you do when you're doing nothing else? Okay. So turn your attention downwards. So I write. I conceptualize one show, a theater show called Irregardless, and I write a feature film, and I write a web series. Okay. I mean, see, we were down for a year.
Look at that.
We had the time.
Look, and all these products are okay. Keep going. It's ideas.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So after Corona, so the first thing we decide is to flex our muscles in film. Why? Because in my head I know it's time. This whole break, you may feel it's time for a feature film. You know, the way like you decide with your wife, it's time for a baby. Now I'm like, this is time. It's time for a feature. Okay, but we'll do a compressed project first.
At least baby making is easier, like
I know.
You know. Hey.
The experts have spoken.
There you go. Mimi nawasikiza wako. Mimi nawasikiza.
Unafuata,
Ninawasikiza. Yeah.
Sorry. Go on.
So I figure let's do. I mean, of course, budgets are very tight. So all these are just relationships and calls and all that. So we figure let's do this show.
Which is currency as well.
Which is currency. So at that point, tumejua watu, we can ask a few things, we can tell people. So we bring in a whole crew, we do Wembe Squad, we shoot it over 1 week. Okay.
Oh, you did Wembe Squad in a week?
We shot Wembe Squad in a week. Hivi, teke.
Yeah.
I mean, smaller locations. Of course, in the budget. It's a really budget project. Really, really budget. And then we're like, you know what, let's air it, let's see where it goes. So the process of Wembe Squad is kind of what it's to us, it's the process of making a movie. We are taking it, this is we are making a movie. Okay. So what that does for us, I think it kind of excites us for tunanid kufanya film. Tunanid kufanya film. So 2022 arrives. Okay. So we've done Wembe Squad, we've finished with it. We are able, so we want to do theater. I want to do theater again because it's been 3 years.
It's been a while. Yeah.
The rule is that if you're away for too long, utasahaulika.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like, okay, jumping from Wembe Squad to a film, Ngori. I know what a film is, and I don't. And hiyo si kazi ya nini. So I'm like, I need a buffer. I need an intermediary. Okay. It's election year. Last time we did the Jioni was election year. Election year haitatupita hivi.
Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Haitatupita. Okay. So I'd conceptualized Irregardless just before Corona 2020. I want a show where you have small sketches of this and this and this. And of course, it's a budget show. I know it's post-Corona bana, lazima belt ikuwe tight. So we do Irregardless. Show is fantastic, is loved by people, very good reviews. Bwana Martin Kigondo here, superstar, award winning.
Tuliwatch
from the stage. Matwali watch show from the stage.
There you go.
Fantastic having you in that show.
Asante, man. Super.
So we do that show and then we do something crazy. So we did it just before the elections. After the elections, I call the guys and I tell them, guys, can you do another one? Because I remember I sent a video. We couldn't even meet because it was I think, after elections, kila mtu kwake. So I sent a video and asked guys, if you want, let's do this thing again. Let's do a post-election edition of Irregardless. We do. Okay? So we've spent June, July, August, September, okay, on stage work. Okay, so we finished. I feel now, as a writer, as a director, I feel like I've reconnected with the audience. Unajua umekuwa away for a while.
Yeah, umewakumbusha Niko very much.
And that's the job.
Yes.
Sisi yetu ni you have to, lazima ukue pale. Ndio jina isemwe. So I felt that we've reconnected with the audience and nini. So it's time for the film.
Yeah.
Okay, so script is already ready. Of course, we are drafting it as we go. But script iliandikwa 2020. So I present the script to the team. We read. We are like, in cinema tutengeneze. We go back to the drawing board. We do drafts. Then we ask ourselves, how are we going to do this film? Tutaifanyaje? We discuss. Then the idea comes, we fundraise for the film.
Yeah.
It's a crazy idea to fundraise for the film. At that point, I think. At that point, I have. So we put the team together. We cast, put out a casting call, say we are doing our first feature film. Ndio ujue watu wanatafuta kazi in Nairobi. We get a lot of entries, by the way. A lot. And I guess at that point also people are know the kind of work we do.
Yeah.
So I think they're happy to apply to work with us. So we got over 300 casting responses. Okay. Watu wanatafuta, wasanii wanatafuta kazi in Nairobi. Wasanii wanatafuta kazi.
I bet good artists.
Yeah. Shortlisting is a problem. Yep. It took us a while to shortlist. So we finally shortlist and we decide, okay, how does a fundraiser work? We don't know. Okay. Crowdfunding is not something that is, it's been done before. I know some guys have done it before, but it's also not widely researched and studied and formulated. So there is no step 1, step 2, step 3.
It's how you go about it.
It's how you go about it.
Yeah.
And everybody who have seen doing it,
There's no
done it their own
playbook.
way. There's no playbook. Kila mtu ameifanya venye anajua. Okay. Is it public? Do you put a pay bill now? Do you put it public? Do you do what? So these are the questions we're asking ourselves. What do? We don't even know. Okay. So we decide, okay, let's go for it. Let's shoot a trailer, use the trailer to market the work to put out the concept of what we are doing, and kind of, okay, and leave it. Tumieka kwa jiko sasa tuone ikichemka.
Yeah.
Okay. Which to me, I still think is probably one of the, it's just one of those things that you have done and you're like, even ndio tutafanya, because hakuna vitu zingine.
Yeah.
You all know film financing in this country is difficult. Theater is financed from ticketing because you can sell tickets as you prepare for the show. Yeah. That's what most theater people do. They start selling tickets early. When you see an advance ticket, it's not because they want you to pay a cheaper ticket, it's because they want to finance the show. That's what they are doing. Okay? Ukweli uongo?
Ukweli.
Yes.
So nunueni alibads bana.
Nunueni maalibads. Hizo ndio zinalipia mahall huko na manini na rehearsals. So film is different, okay? So we try to kind of match the theater concept to the film. So we try to pre-sell tickets, okay, to the premiere, which, and for a theater show, the show is a month away. For a film, it's a year. Until you see that film. It's not tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we put together this concept and we say, okay, what do we do? This is the way we figured we can do it. We have an audience that knows the work we do. They've come for our shows. They've sold out our shows before. Why don't we ask them to partner with us and walk this journey with us? Okay.
Yeah.
So throw the crowdfund out there.
Mm-hmm. On what platforms? M-Pesa?
So what we do, we research kidogo and we find out there's an Mchanga. It's called Mchanga. They have that's what they do. They do fundraising. So what people do, they submit, they pay there, then the thing goes to your account. So we figure for a crowdfund, we do a bit of research, and it's like for a crowdfund one of the things about a crowdfund is make it public so that people can see
the money as it rises.
It's an accountability thing.
Yeah.
And also as it rises, it becomes a more community thing. Because if you're crowdfunding to a secret back pocket, nobody knows what you're doing.
And also maybe there's a psychological element there.
Yes.
If someone says, these guys have raised 200,000. Okay.
Yes.
Maybe they're up to something. They're onto something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's kind of what. Those are the questions we're asking ourselves. What do we do? How do we go about it? Is this fine? Okay, this is fine. Let's do it that way. Yeah. So, and here we are. So we are currently crowdfunding for our film.
What's the name of the film?
The film is called It's a Free Country. Okay.
It's a free country.
It's a free country.
Tell us a bit about it.
The film, I think, is a culmination or combination of the kind of works we've done. We've done satire. We've done comedy. We've done some seriously themed elements. So it's all that
A bit of
in
that.
this story.
Yeah,
So it's a
yeah.
Kenyan story. It's a story about the haves and the have-nots. It's a story about struggle. It's a story about those who have it all and want more, and those who do not have and cannot get. Yes, that's what the story is about. So we are looking at it as it's a very Kenyan story, very current, very
Contemporary.
day to day.
Yeah.
We really thought about the title. What do we call this film? And we just decided to come up with that because when you watch the film, I want you to ask yourself that question: is it
African.
Really
country?
country. Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey.
Sorry, if you don't mind sharing, how much have you raised? And
So
at
at
this
this
point, and we'll
at
obviously
this
link.
point.
So at this point, we are at about 200 Gs. So we are
Look at that, I was so accurate.
Yeah, you're so accurate, by the way. And we are looking to go. We are actually. I don't know when this podcast will air, but we are actually in the last, more or less, the last phase of the crowdfund.
Yeah.
Because we do want to go to set very, very, very soon.
Yeah.
Okay. The team is locked. The cast is in. Kila mtu wako ndani. Everybody can't wait to get this film. Kuingia kwa squad. So, yeah.
How much are you looking at raising?
So we are looking to. So the film in entirety is gonna cost. It's gonna cost about 5M. Okay, to do. So we have a critical mass of about 2.5M to go to set. Okay, so that at least we can get guys in, guys paid, tumalize shoot, then we settle back to post-production.
Yeah, the next step.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next step. Can guys still buy tickets to the premiere?
Yes, guys can still buy tickets to the premiere. Right now, we've opened it up kidogo. Instead of saying buy a ticket, you can submit whatever amount you have. If it's enough for a ticket, we will inform you back because we have all the records. We'll know this guy gave this is actually a ticket.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We've come full circle, man.
Yeah.
What a story, what a journey.
Busy being born.
Busy being born, for
yeah.
real. Because of time, I want to touch on a few lessons that cut across along the way, right?
Okay.
So Mato, when you're discussing about you coming, and even at the beginning of this podcast, Mato talked about how you've been able to bring in a marketing element that has not been seen before, and you mentioned a bit of that, right?
Okay.
Did that come from your work at the agency?
Yeah.
Or how did you overlay that experience into how you approach marketing of film and theaters and your plays?
Yeah, I think, so first of all, I think I saw most of the times when people do shows, they don't market, they announce. Okay?
There's a difference.
There's a difference. They announce that a show is coming, and that's it, and they leave it at that. I think what we've been able to learn with that is that, first of all, you need to have an interaction with the audience so then they understand the kind of work that you do. So that, because marketing is very relational, it's a language. There's a way, if I'm to speak about some brands, there's a way Safaricom will speak to their people, there's a way EABL will speak to their people. The language is different, and what you understand because of also the work I did in advertising, I got to learn that's how marketing works. Okay, so I benefited from that, of course, and of course just trying now to bring it to the work that we do, and develop that sense of, okay, how do we speak to our people, how do we reach them, what language do they understand, what keywords do they need to hear, what do they need to know we're doing, how do you choose the titles of your shows, okay, and what do those titles, when somebody hears Supernova, what should they think about first, okay? And what should it make them, that one I need to come and see, all right? You know what I mean? All that is just about communication. Marketing is communication. How do you talk to your people? So I find that I see more and more people, I think there's a lot better marketing now. It's improving, and I think what we used to blame the audience for, that sijui Kenyans don't support sijui what, don't blame the audience. Okay, umewaambia kweli vizuri, you didn't reach them. Do they know what it is you're doing? You just announced. And when you announce something and you expect somebody to do the understanding work for you, then you've missed the mark.
Point.
Yeah.
That's pretty
All right.
dope.
So that's the first question. Thanks for answering that. The second question I have is, you kept mentioning at the latter part of your story, team, right? And we remember that at some point in time when you were staging your first show after the camera, you didn't even have like a production company.
Hey,
So how have you gone about? Do you have a
Building.
Chatterbox Film and Theatre is a company that has a team. How have you gone about the process of bringing this team together?
Yeah.
Do you still maintain the same leadership style? I know it's a lot of questions in one.
Yeah, it's fine.
But it's just about understanding how you think about building teams, because at the end of the day, team is the most important thing for success.
Yeah.
And you keep on referencing team, which is very admirable.
That's good.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that. That's good. So I think having done it, so first of all, I don't think it's a bad thing sometimes to get to that point where you are the one doing everything. You have to start somewhere. But the reason why you do everything is so that you understand you appreciate what everybody does and what everybody brings. You know, if you've never produced, directed, wrote, mtu akikwambia production needs this, utamwangalia wewe wacha bwana, unataka kunikula pesa. But akikwambia juu umeifanya unajua this is what happens. So I think the more we grew, number one, I think we were able to attract people to the vision. So the truth is sometimes we get people asking to work with us a lot, okay? Kwa inbox na nini. So I think we find that people maybe we resonate with probably what they feel or what they see for themselves. So we have a lot of people asking. But at the same time, we do also take the time to look for who is the best person to collaborate with for this kind of work we do. Okay. One thing that Alex did for us, Wale, writer of Wakamba Forever, because that project is actually probably the first project where I felt I was part of a collaboration. He actually brought, akumbuka hata alifungua WhatsApp group. Tambia, guys, we need to do these things together, bwana. We need to do these things together. So he put us in a WhatsApp group. And I think that's when I appreciated, okay. Tafuta watu wenye mna share vision, okay, msukume kitu pamoja, okay. So we've been very, very fortunate to be able to get guys over the years who've been able to plug in, okay, whether it's on a project basis they come and go, or whether they are with us through many projects that we do, okay. Just to be able to, and what that does for us, it also creates a culture. Okay, so now I'd say we do have a Chatterbox culture, kind of how we do things. Okay, so we'll probably do things in a certain way, and if you've been with us, you'll probably know it, and if you're joining, you'll probably feel okay. There's a way this thing happens, so uta join pia. So in our work,
I see.
In our work.
Okay, yeah. Last question on the same tangent of lessons, is about your writing process, right?
Yeah.
So of course you have a huge creative talent, yeah, but how do you set yourself up? What's your process like? For instance, during the COVID period when you're writing these three things, how do you write in the morning? Are there tools and rituals?
Okay.
How do you go about it?
So I think this is where my engineering comes in, the little engineering I apply. I write in structure. So I write the first format of writing I do in a spreadsheet, Excel or Google Sheet. Okay. So I write my story in bullet points. So I have like 200 bullet points from start to finish. So I write the story in short sentences. This guy wakes up, he goes to school, he kills someone, he runs away. Evo. Okay. And the reason why I started that way is because I want to see the story. Remember when I told you about structure kitambo when I was reading my Hardy Boys? So that's how. So I process the story kama mjengo. Okay, so I know I start here. The story has to go here. The story has to go here, and I can't do that now when I'm writing the dialogue of it. Okay, I do that now when I'm doing the bullet points. I'll mostly write late into the night. Okay, I'll mostly because I have children who are who live in my house. They don't pay rent, but they think ni kwao, so wanakimbia na wanasumbua in love, of course. So I try to find pockets of time during the day. When they're in school, it's good because I can write the whole day.
Yeah.
But I'll find myself, I have my moments. I'm not really a morning person. Hiyo sitadanganya. Sitakuja hapa kusema I'm a morning person. Najua morning people rule the world, but I am not one of them.
The 4 a.m. club.
The 4 a.m. club. Mumeuza.
They can kwenda.
Ai, wamejiuza. Wacha hata si tuseme the night people pia. Tuko. They are coming.
The night owls.
Thank you. We'll write our books.
There you
We will
go.
write our books. Yeah, so that's what I do. I'll sometimes leave the house and go to places secluded, niende tu nikae chini to flesh out stories. Sometimes I'll write in a noisy place. Sometimes I want the noise. I want to write in the middle of a restaurant where watu wanaongea na wanapiga kelele. And it just works. Sometimes I want quiet. So it changes. It depends on what it is I'm writing. Block ikikuja, I leave it, I go. I can leave a script for a month even. Sisiguze.
Okay. Is there a way you optimize your working space? So like your computer, your desk, the environment, especially if it's something that, okay.
Not really. I think because of because of living with kids, I really can't have hiyo ndio space ya
Inafeel ka privilege.
Inafeel kinini. So mimi nabeba laptop naenda. So if I want space, I go. I leave. I don't create it. So in the home I'll write nitaandika hapa.
Na mkaliwa kwa uso.
Exactly. When my kids are watching something, I'll go to their bedroom because it's the farthest from the nini and sit there and write that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. A bit of the personal?
A bit of the personal.
Yeah.
Has even come.
Monique is going to hate us for this and everyone else.
Sijali, Monique, tulikuwa tuna shout out Maria a lot kwenda zile za about time. Si tumejibamba kwa matori. But all good. How often do you go back to LD?
So
like roots tuna reconnect.
Yes, so my parents moved.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are now in Shughuli. So LD I rarely go.
Yeah.
Nikienda mimi ni mgeni. So my parents moved 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are closer now.
So they're closer now. So Shags ni hapa.
Yeah.
Kwa junior hapo so.
Yeah. Okay.
How's your relationship with them? Sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, no. So LD is more I mean, of course, it was as a result of my post-election violence. That was the transition. That was what caused the transition. So nikienda LD, sometimes I can get a bit, yani na feelingi, it can be sometimes emotional. By the way, Juicy, I went for a burial of a friend's mom. Actually, I've gone to LD several times, and because of burials, the parents of the people we grew up with are now watu wanazeeka. So I've gone for that reason, and I've realized going to LD is not as easy as I thought. It's a bit of an emotional journey. Yeah, it's a bit of an emotional journey. Yeah.
Okay.
And you're speaking about the parents.
Yeah,
How's
the parents.
that
It's the fox.
Fantastic. We have a good relation. My dad and mom, very good, fresh people. They come for shows. They come for my shows. But they are a supporter of the arts.
We did more of those.
So we are always at home. We take our kids there. Me and my bros. Yeah. So
do you see yourself in your parents?
Yes, I do see myself in my parents. I see a bit of myself in my dad, the structure, maybe the organization, how to approach things. My mom is the calmest, most humblest soul. And I think that's who I am. Humility.
I am proud of how humble I am.
I know. Those are qualities ukimention ina disappear.
Exactly. But you're not far from the truth, man. Okay, what about the kids?
My kids?
Yeah,
I think I have two boys, Tello and Kato. So Tello is more like Tello looks like me, but he's more like his mom. He's more chilled out, organized, structured. He likes his things a certain. Ndo tuharakisha asubuhi tuambia daddy I'm late for school. Tulimnunulia saa. That was the worst.
Oh, look at that. Anaitumia.
Kato now is more the free spirit, is more like me. Looks like the mom, but he's I'm gonna take after me.
So what a wonderful balance.
Him he's running all over the house. He's like a rule breaker kiasi. But in a good way.
What's your favorite thing about marriage?
I think the partnership, but the marriage thing, I think for me is the partnership. The fact that uko na msee wa kuku rescue wakati ni kunoma na you can offer the same because I know I have been in normal places. So I think just having a teammate to squad.
Someone on your corner.
Squad, yeah.
Always.
Someone on your corner.
Yeah.
I can take notes.
Yeah. Someone tafuta.
Keep going.
Tafuta
Yeah.
mtu wa
Keep
kona.
going.
Mato, tafuta mtu wa kona. Yeah. We all know what that space is like, and there are many opinions around it. I know, especially with this generation.
Yeah.
But mimi niko tu hapo nasema hapo tuko sawa.
Yeah. You're super glad you did it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are there any, not advice, maybe advice is a bit cliche, but are there things that you've done to sort of reinforce your marriage, especially in times of the usual ups and downs?
Ups and downs.
Yeah, that you'd share with someone.
Yeah, I think like any marriage, man, there goes through up and downs. We've sought help, if that's what you're asking about. We've been able to, sometimes when things are rough, you have to go and have somebody speak and say and understand what it is you're going through. We've traveled together. I think that the fact that sometimes you can spend some time together, ina make sense a lot.
Just the two of you.
Just the two. Watoto saa zingine ni watoto, they will travel when you're old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do that. We are age mates, so we are almost turning 40, and we're planning a big thing for ourselves. Just
for
the
when
two of
life
us.
starts.
So when life starts.
Yeah.
Tuianze vizuri.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we are looking forward to that. And then I think just supporting one another. My wife always, she's you'll find her in the shows we do, you'll find her enda utakatia tikiti kwa mlango. Okay. Yeah. She's there. She's a great support of the work I do. I do the same for her. I have designed things for her. Yeah. Nimemfanyia kazi mpaka graphic design, imagine. Yeah. So just the little things. And these are little things, not even big.
That's amazing, man. I love what you said about having a teammate, because I think that's the single most important thing about marriage.
Yeah.
You know, like when you don't, like Mato, I always say like Mato is my boy for sure.
Yeah.
But I won't call Mato.
Of course you won't.
Time and time
What do you
again.
mean?
I won't even call any other person.
No.
There's this one person who you know will come through for you any second.
Yeah.
And you do the same thing for them.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's what marriage is, to be honest.
Exactly.
It's like having that one person on your corner.
Yeah.
Like 24 hours, even if they're not there physically.
Yeah.
And you're there. Yeah, they got you, man. No matter what, when they're willing.
Unafanya ni get my feelings.
Yeah. No.
Get him.
Nitafikia nani? Kamanda, nilikupigia usiku uchukui.
Oi.
Hey.
These two shall pass, brother. These two shall pass.
No. Mi naienjoy because najua for sure inakuja.
No, I mean, it doesn't have to be the only way around life. No,
Yes,
totally. Not
yeah.
But it's just, especially in this lay life, na hii dunia tunaishi, sometimes it's actually, it's very useful.
It's very useful.
It's very, very useful.
Aya, tukikama, we call it play. Hii ni section sasa ya mwisho. Just
okay.
zile rahisi lakini labda itakuwa ikai rahisi. For instance, what's the last thing you changed your mind about?
The last thing I changed my mind about.
Yeah, you're probably so convinced things go in a certain way, alafu ama you saw it different, ama ulikuwa tu no from now going forward.
Well, I'd say as maybe as recent as yesterday. Yeah. I think we've had to make a few changes to our production. Okay, we thought things were going this way, so we've had to adjust a few things.
Usiniambie umefuta watu kazi.
Hapana, no, squad bado iko. No.
About ilikuwa this
squad bado iko.
Yeah.
It's just that I think it's the production process. It's not easy. And what we're also trying to do with this film is to show people ikazi si rahisi. It's not a straight line. When you see something on screen there or on stage there, it was not a straight line.
Yeah.
Okay. It takes time. So making changes so that we adapt to the times. And we get the best of what we're doing.
Okay. So it was work related.
It was work related. Oh, you're looking for personal.
Either hata hiyo ni sawa.
That works.
Okay.
That will suffice.
Yeah, that works too. Along the way, are there people who you've really gotten good guidance and mentorship and coaching from that you think that, hey, these guys have been really, really instrumental in getting me to where I am?
Yeah. Yeah, I think during now your time when we during my early years, okay, in theater, in drama, we got some good mentors who helped us, okay. Shout out to people like Akina Balusi, okay. These are guys who mentored us. I think they taught me how to deal with people. They taught me how to lead. They taught me how to work with people, and I always go back to that season and say our say waliwork na sisi, okay. They were able to show us. They were able to show us what we need to do. So yeah, without Kamau, I'd not be here. During my advertising days, I got good creative directors, Jerry and Robert, who were able to show me, this is how the creative world operates. This is how the creative world operates. And they taught me the creative enterprise. What I'd say, the creative enterprise.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Okay.
The big three.
The big three.
Yeah.
How big
I'm
a
scared.
reader? No, I'm
scared
scared.
about
Yeah, no. The big three.
How big a reader are you?
How big a reader am I?
Yeah.
I am
Outside of Hardy Boys.
outside of Hardy Boys. I think I'm an average reader, not too big, not zero.
Yeah. Okay. Then jump in. With
Yeah. What are you reading right now, or either that, or is there a book other than Hardy Boys that you've read so many times and you'd recommend or would gift?
gift.
Where
Often.
that had gift.
Yeah.
All right. No, I don't think I have a nina.
But is there a book that comes to mind when you think, well, that meant something to me in a way?
That meant something to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't come to mind.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
good.
guys.
What about a film? Tui flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
Okay.
about a
now? Okay. Sawa.
Yeah.
Film ziko mingi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
We'll give you top two.
top two.
Yeah.
Okay. I think top two films, number one.
In this moment. Si lazima kesho ikuwe the same answer.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, my answer is pretty much the same.
Okay.
One of my best films still today is Inglourious Bastards. Okay. For the purpose of the storytelling structure, the non-linear storytelling, the character development, the boldness in which the story was told, and the fact that I watched that movie without expecting anything, and how it hit me. I could not, mpaka today, it's like 15 years later, and I'm like, that is probably one of the best things that I've ever watched. Number two, Lion King. That is a movie I grew up with. I feel like Lion King is the perfect movie. Okay? Not this one ya juzi hii yenye walifanya manini. Ile ya kwanza.
Ile ya kina Beyonce.
Achana na hiyo ya kina Beyonce. Hiyo waliharibu. I'm talking about the original one.
Yeah.
That film defined my childhood. That film defined my relationship with my brothers. We always make Uncle Scar jokes still today. That film, I think, is the most complete story I've seen. That film is for the sake of the script is situated in Africa. That film made money. That film has characters that has life. It's cartoon, but it is real life. It can't be more real than there are jealous people in your life. People die. People lose things.
Yeah.
These are kids' film that had a major death. We were watching it as kids, and it's not like you're traumatized. You're like, you understand, and your daddies can die. You know that kind of thing. Who does that? Who writes a death scene for kids?
For kids.
For kids.
Yeah.
And they don't offend anyone. Yeah. So for me,
those
two.
Hey,
Okay.
those are good classics.
Yeah.
So good classics. Maze nafeel kuchangia lakini Monica atashinda kienda buda bana. No, but I'm a big fan of Lion King.
Yeah.
Sasa from the theater side.
From the theater side.
Yeah, and the story behind the creating of it and
Yeah,
how, because that came before.
Yeah.
So niko, another thing. Nafeel poa kusema JJ hiyo tuko pamoja.
pamoja.
Hiyo.
Go together.
That's what's twende vile.
The guys who are doing the music, I think, on stage,
Yeah.
have done tiny desk.
Oh, they
I think-
did.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay. That's what's
amazing.
up.
Yeah,
We
I'm
could attach
watching
it.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's
We could attach
amazing,
it.
man. The
Yeah.
music is so good.
so nice.
It is.
Live.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Man, there's a huge story around, like beautiful story about the creating of it. But anyway, wacha hiyo.
yeah.
Tunarudi tu. Hii sitting tunaihave
Season
Tunahave
two.
tena, season two.
after it's a free country.
Yeah, after
Tunarudi
it's a free
tunaketi.
country.
Yes.
And then lastly of the
Yeah.
big three,
Yeah.
if you're to have dinner with
Yeah.
3 people,
Yeah.
dead or alive,
Mm.
once in a lifetime opportunity
Once in a lifetime.
to just sit down with these 3 people and have dinner with them, who would those people be?
Tyler Perry, Quentin Tarantino. So Tyler Perry, because of how he's been able to build both film and theater. He's one of the few people who has built both film and theater. Quentin Tarantino, because of his writing process, okay? And Arnold Schwarzenegger, because that guy has lived 3 lives. As a bodybuilder, as an actor, and as a politician.
As a politician.
And he has hit the top of all those 3.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
felt like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
That guy has hit the peak
Yeah.
of 3
things,
lives
Of
Yeah.
3 lives.
Yeah.
He's lived the life of 3 people
and hit the peak.
and hit.
Mm.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
And retired
never-
from every one of them. Like being able
That's a
to
privilege.
hit
Yeah.
and retire.
Never thought about that.
Yeah.
You know, when you hit and you retire,
That's what,
like
yeah.
you leave when you're at the top. You're like, you know what? Santeni
I
sana.
did the thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They may hit. They may land.
Yeah,
No,
because
but me, I think people don't give Schwarzenegger enough
The
credit.
flowers, yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
And he did it in a foreign country, not even Kwake nyumbani.
He's a foreign country.
Yeah. Exactly.
Why?
Exactly.
yeah, it's like sorry, I was watching the new Trevor Noah,
Yeah.
and he was asking guys, why are you mourning the Queen?
Yeah.
The Queen has lived into her 80s
Yeah.
as one of the most powerful people in the world.
Yeah.
What more could you out of
Unataka
out of
nini?
her?
Ameishi
Hey.
life. Ameishi
Like
life.
what more could you want?
Top cream.
Hey, hey.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Ah.
Anyway,
Final. The closer.
Yeah.
JJ.
Yeah.
Uko mahali, it's an elevated position, yeah? Na mmeketi mmesimama but mko watu wachache maojiz wa hii Afrika unajua dead or alive, yeah? So there is the Wole Soyinkas, the Nelson Mandelas, the
Right.
Wangari Maathais, the anyone we consider someone we look up to,
Yeah.
and you're seated right there ama you're standing right there next to them. Lakini leo amesema leo usijali, leo ni Wole Soyinka anaongea, but if you have a message for your people in Africa
Yeah.
or Kenya,
Yeah.
or like people who follow you and look up to you,
Yeah.
and the only way you can share this message with them ilikuwa something short on your t-shirt, very short statement, very short quote, or could be long, utajua vile utaipanga, ama ni image, what would be on your t-shirt?
Leave no man behind. Okay. And I say that for a reason. Remember when I told you when I was in advertising, I never got the opportunity to go to spaces that I felt I should have gone. Why? Because there was people standing at the door. Okay. I feel like one of the things we need to do, okay, is pull along as many people as we can, okay, in this work that we do, especially in this creative work that we do. We only succeed when we pull others along with us, okay? One of the things I'm doing even for It's a Free Country is I'm giving young people opportunities to get onto their first set, because I did not get. I got into my first set when I was 35. Okay. I'm having 18-year-olds in my film project. Why? Because it means the world to them to be part of the battalion. Okay. So kama kuna msee anakuambia anataka kwenda na wewe mahali ama amekuidentify, beba tuende. I think that's one of the problems I think we have in Africa. We just don't give downwards enough. We don't pull people up enough. So everybody has to start again. Okay? Everybody has to start again. So even businesses, you see what Windies are doing, they bring kids up early. Wewe baba yako amekwambia you will build your own business. Wewe yako na familia yako anakuambia wewe enda anza yako huko. Instead of why not continue that one? That's how we all thrive. But I feel we need to learn the culture of taking everybody along. Let's take everybody along. Let's fill this ship. Twende. That's the only way we can make ourselves great.
Yeah.
Leave no man behind.
I'd say that, yeah, man.
Do you know what
Si
that
itatoshea kwa
deserves?
t-shirt.
Hiyo itatoshea. Hiyo itatoshea. That unajua deserve nini?
Yeah.
Makofi ya kilo.
Asante.
Umeona nime do the thing. Nime come back to the moment.
Umeenda from the beginning.
Exactly.
Well done.
Yo bro, asante sana,
Thank you,
man.
It's been lovely.
Thank you for this.
Asante.
Thank you for honoring us with the unajua kutokea.
No worries,
with
man.
your story.
It's been a pleasure.
With the lessons, man. Stay busy being born.
Busy being born. I think that's a good title.
Yeah.
We're always being
Asante.
born.
Exactly.
Yeah, always learning new things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wish you well.
Asante.
In the fundraising tutachangia, tutabai tikiti.
Asante.
You're gonna put the mchanga link. Is there a link about it's a number? It's a link.
It's both the link and the
okay.
number.
You'll send it to us and then
Share
you'll link it up.
details.
Yeah, we'll changia as well.
Yes.
Man,
Asante.
it's so lovely to meet you
Thank
and
you. You
spend
too, man.
the last couple of hours with you.
You too.
Yeah.
It's been lovely.
Yeah.
Keep going.
It's my first podcast, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We're honored.
First of many.
We are
So
honored.
First of many.
mutasema mulianza. JJ started here.
Yeah.
Exactly, maze.
Oi,
Keep
stay
going,
humble.
man.
Sawa,
But keep
asante.
going. Like
Asante.
kile unafanya,
Asante.
I think your voice is one Africa and the world needs to keep hearing.
Asante,
So
absolutely.
keep creating, maze.
Thank
Keep
you.
inspiring, man.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
and leave no man behind.
Asante.
Keep leading.
Keep leading.
Asante.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asante.
Thank you so much. Which camera?
Tuko Kenya gani?
To-
Right here.
thank
Go
you
for
so
it.
much for journeying with us once more. I think these stories are excellent. We're on episode 40 and I think we can establish that it's so hard to go. I'm sorry, to go
For 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes. 1 hour. 1 hour, 30 minutes. And whenever that's happened, we have to do like maybe whatever. We do like another episode with that person.
yeah.
It's really, really hard.
It's coming.
Yeah, so thanks for joining with us. We really, really appreciate you. And yeah, that's all I can say.
That's what's up. Asanteni sana. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mi sijui niko hapa. Keep watching the Busy Being Born podcast. Tunajua hapa YouTube tunawapatia 2-3 minutes. But guess what? On the podcast platforms, you can listen to us. Tunaenda kumaliza season 2.
Yep.
Yeah, that has been... One season is 22 episodes. That's a good 2.5 years already, man. So
Yeah.
keep journeying with us. Clearly, there are Kenyans out here doing their thing. There are Africans out here living fully. There are human beings out here busy being born. So asante sana, JJ, once again.
It's been a pleasure.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And to the team, asanteni sana. From Grace to Monica, karibu sana. Monique, otuwak na hiyo.
Monique.
Okay, sawa. Na Monique, thank you. Abu mazee, pole, najua itakuwa stress kukata yetu refu, but mazee, we are here for the lessons, bro.
We'll apologize every single episode. Sorry. And then we'll apologize next time pia.
We love it, mazee, but
Ama we apologize in bulk.
tufanye moja ya kufunga
Pole! I love that will carry us. That's sorry for the
Yo,
next 24
but
episodes.
asanteni sana. And to you who's watching, consistently listening to us, mazee, we thank you. We thank you. We always say hii ni yetu selfishly ya kujijenga, but in truth tunajua pia si sote tunajengana. We are hoping to leave no man behind.
Social media, where can guys find you and Chatterbox?
At John Jumbi and at then ART Chatterbox.
Okay.
At Chatterbox.
Chatterbox.
And
All right.
that's YouTube as well. I'm a YouTube Chatterbox stories.
YouTube ni Chatterbox Film and Theatre.
Okay.
Yes.
Sawa.
The rest,
Yeah, and you know where to find us. You can find us on our website, which is at busybeingborn.africa. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at busybeingborn_, and on Facebook we are at the Busy Being Born podcast. And you can listen to us and share our links through whatever podcast applications that you or your friends prefer, from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, whatever, Stitcher, and leave a recommendation if you have some time. We'll really, really appreciate that.
We will.
Yeah.
We will. Asanteni sana. And until next time, we have been your hosts, Kegodu.
Kabande. And as we always say, if you're not busy being born,
Nisha sao, if you're not busy being born, then you're probably busy not living.
Peace.
Peace. Nilikuwa nimesahau tunafaa kusign off. Mimi niko peace. Yo, asante sana. Shukran.
Did I talk a lot?
No, that was perfect.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Do look out for more from us. For now, kwaheri.